sure what their centre square squad's going to be. Freo a bit the same.
Opening bounce then. Sandilands and Jolly. Good bounce to start proceedings too. Well, both of them got the tap. Sandilands then knocked away by Jolly over the football cloak. Pavlich. Raw goes up. Dockers first into attack. Down towards their half-forward line. Plenty of Magpies. Reed coming into his own down there. Got a problem. Moved it on to Johnson. Over the top, Didak. Didak feeds it forward. Pendlebury, he's on the wing. Kicks it down towards the attacking 50. Cloak, always his. Cloak right on the 50. There's a good kick coming in. Looks towards the middle. Sends it high. Anthony jostles in front. Almost got it too. Tarrant kept coming. Over the football, O'Brien. Locking it in. Duffield holding the ball, says the umpire.
He dived on it. Play on.
He's their best rebound player, Duffield, and O'Brien started on him, maybe in a defensive role. Dangerous kick coming out and cut off by Pendlebury. He's going to go short, and Collingwood is so accurate in going into their forward 50, and Jack Anthony back.
The other thing they're so good at, Collingwood, and have been all year, is forcing a turnover and then really punishing the opposition on the turnover, and they've started the trend at the start of the game now.
Centre corridor footy's good as long as you don't turn the ball over. It was Broughton who actually tried to pinpoint that one back into the centre square from the back pocket, but intercepted.
Well, when he first came onto the scene, his trademark, Anthony, was the fact that he was a great set shot. He rarely missed, and he's got that going well. So what a terrific opening couple of minutes for him in his first game in a month and a bit.
A great start for Jack Anthony. Actually saw him play in the VFL last week. He had about 9 or 10 scoring shots. Sure, didn't want to be playing necessarily in the VFL side, but would have taken some confidence, and he'd be really keen to get off tonight on the right foot, which he has done. So a good confidence booster for Jack.
What we didn't see actually was just before that play, before the ball went forward, when Cloak marked the ball, it was Jolly pushing forward to be a target.
Yep.
Sandlin's back in midfield. That'll be a good tactical battle.
Of course, this time last season, that man was a force. First goal of this top-of-the-table clash.
And Ryan Crowley at the moment has got the Dale Thomas matchup. I don't know whether that was pre-planned or just how the game's going to begin.
Sandilands and Jolly, it will be pivotal. Jolly wins it down decisively. Pendlebury hooks it down towards half-forward. Anthony got a fist on it, knocked it in front of the pack, taken by Mundy. Slips a hand pass away. They work it across half-back. McFarlane to Broughton. Tarrant involved earlier. Kick comes up towards the wing. Not a good one. Staying on his feet, O'Brien, but is he going to be penalised? I think he is. Dockers get the free. It'll be taken by Fife.
Nah, push him in the back.
He reminds me very much of a right-footed George Young in his formative days. Nice mover, can take a mark. McFarlane.
He'll concede as well. So then Duffield and Broughton again. So he's had a fair bit of the ball early, Broughton. It was his turnover, though. It was marked by Anthony. Here's Hayden.
It's been about 4 kicks to get to exactly the other side of the field in the same situation. Collingwood have got the full ground 18 back 2/3, really well set. And
you mentioned, Lee, before the game that Collingwood are the best side at playing on from marks. On the opposite side of the coin is Fremantle at rank 16, and it's panning out that way. Very patient and very methodical with their ball use.
So Duffield goes back to McFarlane. We were here a minute ago, weren't we, with McFarlane going across to Duffield.
Now it's a contest.
That's when I gave you the baton, Bruce. That Crowley, clever mark. 75 metres out from goal. Terrible kick, though. Just wanders in. The mark is taken by Tuvey.
Well, that was the flow-on effect by going so slow about 30 seconds ago. It really gave Collingwood the opportunity to structure up correctly, and they went on and played quickly with Crowley and kicked it directly to the Collingwood opponent.
Well, Maxwell, touch of arrogance there on a face he didn't recognise. Fife has got the football now, though. Down he goes. Trying to knock it out of there, Morabito. He's over the football. It rolls out the back. Tuvey crawls after it. Side bottom. Spins out of trouble. High ball. Floats towards the wing. Anthony was up. McFarlane killed the contest.
Well, Collingwood got the first goal, but you can just see the pressure that both sides are putting on the opposition. There's not much free-flowing ball movement at this point.
So Sandilands and Jolly. And then Swan off the ground. And Broughton again. Davis with him.
It's interesting in the Collingwood backline. They're obviously trying to demonstrate a show of strength. Maxwell, the skipper's gone to Fife, first-year player, and Harry O'Brien was actually moved over to Maine, but he was on Morabito to start with. So the experienced players playing on the younger Fremantle forwards.
So the advantage, Pavlich takes it after the free kick to Sandilands. The kick over the back to Ball and Shaw. Free kick. Gee, that's a big roar, isn't it?
Well, they've been strangely quiet.
Just a little hook at the end.
It's an interesting play. Mundy came from a long way back.
He was only 35 metres out. It was a big call to actually give the handball rather than have the set shot. De Boer's playing, I think, on the defensive matchup on he's sure, but O'Brien and Ballantyne going to be a bit of fun there.
I'll tell you what, I played on Ballantyne a couple of times, and he doesn't mind that sort of behaviour. Not that he can pull my hair.
De Boer gets his own ball this time, and it was holding De Boer before, but now he goes in short and he finds Hazelby. And suddenly the crowd are involved. I was thinking while Bruce was calling how quiet they were.
Ryan, you got the footy race.
Maybe they're just pinching themselves at this stage.
Been a bit arrogant, haven't they? We saw Maxwell and then Heath Shaw there. They were very confident.
They don't recognise these guys, Fife and De Boer. Who are they? Hazelby comes in. That should tell them. Straight through the middle.
Yes, I think that got the crowd something to cheer about, and they certainly did. De Boer's injury, he had 2 shots at goal, and he's actually gave him a fantastic chase on Heath Shaw. No doubt he'll be there to try and make sure that Heath Shaw is not allowed to do what exactly he tried to do, just take off with the footy.
He's been fantastic in that defensive half-forward role. Really good way to forge out a career and do a defensive job. And Heath Shaw is the prime rebounder, not only for the Pies, but probably the whole competition.
So the Dockers, through one of their great players in Hazelby, he's done the stretch, hasn't he? A decade, a high draft pick in a really interesting draft. Josh Fraser went in front of him in that draft. There's been some big success stories up the top of the one with Hazelby. So here's Barlow, speaking of guys drafted and doing pretty well. Maxwell, good mark.
Stay there.
He reads it so well, the captain. To Reed, and then Reed down low. Dawes, gee, that's a good mark. He protected the ball so well, and then gives it to Tuvey, and Tuvey's kick is sloppy.
And I think we answered the first question, which Collingwood defender is going to take Pavlich? It looks like Brown is going to be the big defender that's going to take him when he goes forward.
This crowd would make lousy line persons. They called 2 out that didn't go out. There's Davis to himself, fattens the stats, gets it away. Tuvey slips a hand pass forward. Johnson hesitates. Beams did not. Johnson, the hurried kick around the corner. Well done, Duffield knocks it away from O'Brien.
It's early days, but it's a great game of footy. I love the way both these sides are really playing good offensive football, but their defensive pressure really has been exceptional, and you can see it at this point early.
Sandilands front spot, and then Jolly. Beam searches, tries to get to side bottom, and then Swan. Little give by McCaffrey was good, and then Johnson ekes one out to a very hot spot. Dawes, brilliantly done. O'Brien hooking back, looking good. Great team goal by Collingwood.
Just really efficient going forward. Collingwood, you know, the inside 50 conversion's been a strength of it all year. Chris Dawes has been an important player. He provides an imposing physical presence. If he's not taking the mark, he's following up at ground level and still dishing off the score assist. Important goal for Shane O'Brien. He's really looking to cement his spot back in the side with the young Collingwood midfielders.
Interesting, the quick kick forward out of the centre square. I think we're seeing more and more teams in the congestion around the middle.
Yep.
They were happy not to try and mess around with the kick into the forward 50, give their forwards a chance.
Magpies lead it by 5 points on Friday Night Football. Sandilands, big leap, wins it down. Morabito, nice pick up. In trouble, Barlow upended. Over the top came Cloak. Wrestles him down, and we'll have a ball up.
Straight up. Thanks, Matt. Don't hold. Don't blow.
A late arriving crowd, but they've packed in now.
Play on.
Wide of the pack, Ballantyne loves this situation. Breaks to 60 metres out, Bacon square, back goes Shaw. He loves that situation as well. Last one standing.
No, this way. That's okay.
So Shaw in Collingwood's defensive goal square. Dane Swan, what a season he's having. Again, short to O'Brien. Main was closing. So Harry in his own Oval Office decides to have a couple of bounces. Spilt it, eventually kicks up towards the wing. Jolly could have almost got a free, took the mark anyway. Untidy. Beams has to reach back for it. Pendlebury's got it. Confronted by Crowley, slips a hand pass away. Tooby, Ballantyne arrived quickly. Now Didak.
Bit of a dangerous kick, but well done, Johnson. Uses the run. Brown and then Didak. Davis didn't hold it. Barlow back to Broughton. Here's Hill, first time we've seen him tonight. Runs the line so brilliantly. De Boer's, rather Palmer's handball put the pressure on Hill. They gang tackled him. Davis held up by Barlow. Swan, well done, good turnover. The tackle was a beauty by Palmer. Hayden to Hill. Lovely kick to Pavlich, who goes on around the corner. It needs a good kick, and it's a beauty. So the other big guy in the team.
What we're seeing at the moment is the typical football styles of both teams. Collingwood's their propensity to use the boundary, hug it round, and Fremantle to come through the guts. That's what the umpire's got to say. And Sandiland's now starting to exert some influence, not only in the centre square, but also in the forward half.
He's been kicking goals in the last few weeks too. That's 5 in his last 4 matches.
Well, Sandilands has actually got the first one. As I said, the ruckmen are just running into their respective forward lines, hoping to catch the opponent out. This was terrific defence. They had no one to go into the forward 50, Collingwood. That's where they held onto the ball a fraction too long. But when Hill gets the ball, isn't he a beautiful kick of the footy? And
what I love about that bit of play is they've taken the risk. They've identified the way they attack the game is by taking risks and going through the middle. Hill is that player who's got that special ability to break the lines, use Pavlich the way he did, and then obviously Sandilands is always going to be a threat in the forward 50.
It's a bit of a contradiction, is Hill. Sometimes his choice of who to hand pass it to is not the best. That time Palmer was flat-footed. Should do what he does best, and that's kick it. He is, as the guys say, a terrific kick. Here he is again, tied up immediately by Johnson.
All pinned. Thanks, David.
32 possessions last week for Stephen Hill.
Yeah, Crowley's definitely got the Thomas matchup. I thought he'd be more likely to go to a Swan. Interesting choice, that one.
Sandilands nudged under it by Wood, comes wide. Pendlebury lost it. Hayden emerges with it, creates some space. Ibbotson alongside the centre circles, goes to half forward. Crowley, the important touch as it turned out. Barlow, Main, over the top to Crowley, snaps it, goal, looks okay, now it just drifts on the breeze. It's a crossing breeze, and he misses to the left-hand side.
So Ballantyne's going to enjoy that.
He's got great speed, Ballantyne. Yeah. I mean, those players have that real enormous acceleration. He uses it defensively on that occasion, but he'll really carry the ball.
He's been having a running battle with O'Brien at the start of this match. Palmer trying to crash his way through. Heard the touch play on. Anthony in the back half to Thomas. So Daisy with a left footer to Dawes. Worked underneath it by Savani, and now Didak and Tarrant, they're playing on one another. That'll be an interesting conversation. Well done. O'Bree's got loose to McCaffer running onto it. Beautiful kick inside. Now McCaffer decides to go back again, and Pendlebury takes the mark. Same distance out, straight in front.
I think they'd be disappointed then, Fremantle, that they didn't come out in defence as quickly as the Collingwood midfielders ran forward. Whenever you get an extra couple of players on their own in the forward 50, you you can legitimately ask the question, were you midfielders pushing back as hard as you need to?
Well, Broughton got caught out there. He was playing on McCaffrey. He's gone to the isolated one-on-one, but then obviously flicked the ball over and Collingwood shot on goal.
It's been pretty accurate so far this year, Pendlebury, and he's got it home, and that's his 50th career goal.
When it flows out, when it came out of the Collingwood defence, certainly they just got that extra man forward half. He gave it back basically to a penalty to kick the goal, but it was O'Brien was the one who actually popped up absolutely in acreage around centre half forward on his own that created that turnover.
Magpies back in front.
It was a great kick by O'Brien. As we mentioned before, Broughton was just caught in two minds, tried to go to the one-on-one deeper down in the forward Collingwood forward 50, and McCaffrey was the beneficiary of that.
Halfway through the opening term then, Sandilands did well falling to the ground. Sort of like Polly Farmer. It bounces down towards half forward. Ibbotson in there. Main brilliantly done. Hill once more. Jabs it down towards half forward. Was that in the back? Fife went to ground. Back comes Hill. Stolen away by side bottom. Johnson. Well played. Maxwell drives to half forward. The mercurial Didak to Dawes. No one on. It's a race back towards the square. Cloak sweating on McPhee. McPhee decides to soccer it out of bounds. And I think his left foot and not his right saved him right there.
Oh, that's a nervous situation, isn't it, for McPhee? He's one-on-one. Almost the only two players in the forward 50. Ball at your feet. Nervous times.
Sandilands doing much as he likes there. Mundy over the top. Going the wrong way. Barlow lost it. Side bottom. Swan. Little chip around the corner. Ball tracks it back. Ibbotson step for step. Davis over the top. Didak held. No free kick. Barlow. Tarrant. Barlow. Hand passes forward to Fife. And the Dockers bring it away.
It's a good looking kick by Fife. Terrific mark by Main. They've done well here. They were deep in defence a moment ago, and they've got a chance on the burst. De Boer, O'Brien and Shaw played it well. Ballantyne was in hard. And then Pavlich. It's run through for a goal. It's got to come back, unfortunately.
Yes, I think they were a little bit stiff that they didn't allow that advantage, because it sort of looked like, you know, Pavlich picked the ball up, had a shot at goal. Most of the time you would have thought that advantage would have been allowed.
Well, that's the advantage rule, isn't it? It's up to now to the player to make the decision if he thinks there's an advantage, and Pav's obviously
No, the player does. The umpire still makes a decision, of course. I think next year that'll be in, I suspect. Player makes a decision, but that looked like a standard advantage rule, didn't it?
Yep, one step goal.
It looked a segue, didn't it, from one to the other. Continuous footy. So can Ballantyne go all the way here? He's going to kick from about 53. Well, he tried the torpedo and was touched off the boot. And then Shaw taps it, but not very far. Crowley has to wait. And the Dockers get in underneath. And that's holding the footy. That was Fife.
You have to come forward into the footy, Crowley, and if you come forward to the footy hard enough and low enough, you're likely to get a high tackle.
Swan, nicely done. Breaks away. They got it right that time, out of bounds on the full.
The signs are great for Freo early in their defensive work. We've all been sort of applauding the way they've attacked the game offensively, but you know, the pressure that they're inferring on Collingwood's fantastic at the minute.
Hayden, 65 metres out, takes something off the kick, too much.
Thought he was going to bomb that to the goal front, because Sandilands had the height there. You sometimes just got to bomb it there. There's so much congestion.
Thomas having a wonderful season, marked it, kicks up towards the wing. McFarlane, Hayden fell over. Didn't do him any harm though. Back to McFarlane. They're queuing up for the Dockers. Broughton assessed that one pretty well. De Barlow spears it into Johnson. Johnson 75 metres out. Where's the Pav? Well, nowhere near that footy. Maxwell doing very well back there. Goes out wide. Tarrant, the former Magpie, running out of space. Duffield on the assist. Accelerates away. Short one, Crowley. Silvani under pressure. Was it touched off the boot? Close to the line. Morabito over the top to Hazelby. Smothered off the boot out of bounds.
Just at the moment, they're not reacting. Fremantle going forward to Collingwood zoning back. And some of those flat passes to Leeds have been intercepted 2 or 3 times. They've got to be able to look over the top of that congestion.
So Jolly and Sandilands. Sandilands the front spot. Hazelby, Pavlich. Tuvey with him hard, and Pavlich's left-hand handball doesn't go far. Jolly gets to Davis, and then Davis squeezes it out. So a lot of close footy being played at the moment. Not much space and time.
They're the best at it, Lee, I think, Collingwood, in taking marks in their defensive 50. They're already up to 6. Fremantle haven't actually taken one in theirs, but going forward, Freo will have to make Maxwell and O'Brien and Shaw more accountable.
Reid to O'Brien to Swan across the ground. Pendlebury just forward of half back. Looks down towards half forward. Lays it into the path of Wood, who tracks it, tries to dribble it like a basketball. A Tarrant. Well, this should be an interesting replay to watch. Wood's got the free. Down towards half forward. What do you think, fellas?
Well, it's a fine line between a scoop and a hit, isn't it?
He did everything right. He kept his feet in the initial contest and was brought to ground just at the end. I think he was okay. I think he's a bit stiff there, Taz.
And you cut it out, Lee. Don't you start quoting those eurythmics. The ball is at the 50-metre line. Cloak's got the free. Now this one should work back left to right for him, provided he can get the distance. That's a magnificent kick. Oh, that's a beauty. Cloak from long range.
Well, remember the game a few weeks ago when Collingwood, I think, kicked 4-14 against St Kilda. Just could not buy a goal. But tonight they've had 4 shots, kicked 4 straight, just making the most of every opportunity. Their inside 50s are 9-7 Fremantle's way. Collingwood are getting the numbers back in defence and then charging out with it, and the Fremantle are getting caught behind a bit.
Yeah, real high work rate at the moment from the Collingwood half forwards, pushing up, beating their direct Fremantle opponents back. One of the great things about Collingwood, they're really offensive play at the minute. They've been getting a heap of inside 50s, but they have turned their accuracy around, and they are at 4 goals zip at the moment. So they're getting the ball in there and they're kicking the goals, which puts the opposition under extreme scoreboard pressure.
Cloak maintains his record of having kicked a goal in every match so far this year. He got a bag on Anzac Day. Jolly out of the centre. Barlow back to Tarrant, who's in trouble now. O'Brien brought him down, and then Ball got down low brilliantly. Picked himself up. Handball wasn't great. McPhee has to try and search and get to it. Beams back to Ball. Underground handball's a beauty. Cloak leans back. There's a chance. It's a goal. He's kicked 2 in a minute.
Oh, that was great play by Ball, wasn't it? You're going to find that he just went at the ball that little bit harder. Ground level ball. Silvani just looked at it a fraction. And Ball went at it. And then he got the ball back again to get it to Cloak. That was just a magnificent couple of efforts then by Luke Ball to set that goal up.
A fantastic coaching point which Freo will be able to show young Silvani, and just getting lower at you, the technique involved in taking a contested ball. Luke Ball has become, over his career now, 150 games, almost the best at it. So plenty to learn for the young Fremantle defender.
8th quarter in a row that Collingwood have booted at least 5 goals in a quarter. So back in the middle. The margin suddenly out to 16 points. Sandilands trying to wrench it out of there. Pendlebury, fancy footwork to Beams. They win it out of the centre again. Penetrating kick down towards full forward. McFarlane found it on the ground. Needs some help. Misses the target. Cloak once more at the feet of O'Brien. Hand passes back away from goal. Pendlebury claimed by Hill. Jarred out of there. Johnson across to Jolly. Goal kicking big man. It floats towards full forward. Oh, barely a mark, but Wood has been paid. Maybe he took the arms. Not sure what the umpire paid there. Mark or free kick? I think it was a mark.
Control the footy. All he has to do is control the footy. And it was, I think it just did stick momentarily. I think that's a mark. Yeah, no, I think it's stuck. I mean, I know he didn't hold it for long, but it's stuck. He controlled the footy, which is what the marking interpretation is all about.
So often when we watch him, though, he's not firm with his hands. He leaves it to the umpire a little bit too often. And this one misses across the face of goal, going for the boomerang and putting it through for a behind.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right, Dennis. He just doesn't clunk them. Like, really, he had a firm purchase on it. He should have brought the ball down. He controlled it. I think it's a fair enough mark, but he actually should have.
Interesting that he tried the check side from such a tight angle. I would think perhaps if he could come out on his left foot and snap it round.
Is this the play in the middle?
Sandilands the target from Duffield.
Right tackle and the fend off. Luke Ball free kick.
Luke Ball's free kick.
Oh, 50.
50. It's going to be really important now for Fremantle to hold their nerve.
Right tackle and the fend off.
Now, I don't like that 50-metre penalty, I must say, because every player on the ground thought it was probably a high tackle. And Fremantle played the ball on, thinking it was going to be a high tackle. It was a clear free kick, that's fine. But sometimes I think the umpires have got to play some common sense.
So Ball gets the goal in his 150th and Collingwood are away.
The thing on that, Lee, is also in a game like this, there's 40,000 people here. The crowd haven't agreed with the decision. As a player, you often don't hear the whistle. And that's, I mean, that's an extremely harsh penalty on the 50-metre arc, going from converting it into a certain goal. So pretty stiff there for the Dockers.
They often try to go to Sandlands down the middle. He often try and knock the ball on, but he was well organised in Collingwood.
Yep.
6-1-2-2, Tim Watson on the boundary.
Injury problems too for the Dockers. Luke McFarlane just limped off the ground. The doctors just checking out his left knee.
Just get the feeling too that Luke Ball is starting to feel very comfortable as a Collingwood player. 28 possessions last week. It's been a long time since he got that high. Sandilands knocks it down, at least forward, but only momentarily. Beams over his shoulder, missed by Johnson. Brown did nicely. O'Brien across the ground. Here come the Magpies again. Jolly alongside the centre circles towards half forward. Lurking at the back is Anthony. Now Anthony is a reliable kick. What's he done this time? Well, across the face of goal, off the body. Side bottom was there and a minor score. He didn't take much time to line that one up.
Look incredibly sharp, Collingwood, don't they? I mean, I've hardly seen them not take first touch disposal at this point.
Dangerous kick by Silvani. Hayden did well. Had to backtrack. They look like a team in very good form, don't they?
Oh, they do. Yeah, I mean, I think Fremantle have been pretty good to this point. Collingwood have taken all their chances, but they've just been so good with ball in hand. Good decisions, good skills.
Mine.
And their last 4 weeks has been phenomenal. This, in fact, is their biggest first quarter score ever at Subiaco in any game. And they're going to add to that by the look of it. Beams.
Well, they're so attacking, Collingwood, but the most impressive thing, they're already up 18-8 in the tackle count. So not only are they winning the ball and spreading so aggressively, they're really aggressive at the contest, which is probably one area going into the game where Collingwood thought they might be able to gain an ascendancy over the Dockers.
And again, Fremantle congregating in the middle around Sandilands, but I think Collingwood would know exactly what they're doing.
Duffield drives it in that direction, and the big guy, I think, will get a free. What a season he's having. He started out as a project player. Well, he's way beyond that now. McPhee to the wing, and Mundy has been quiet. So important last week. Plays on, drives it down towards half forward. Mains surrenders front position. O'Brien did brilliantly, knocked it down to Tuvey. Tuvey dragged, but gets the kick away. Swan just pops it up for Anthony. Well done, McPhee. Got back and punched it away. O'Brien held by Dawes for a moment. Over the top from Beams. Well done, Anthony. Beams wrong foots Barlow, lines up. Should kick another one. Does kick another one.
It's been too solid in defence at this point of time. The ball just bounced off half-back, but straight down the middle of the ground. Collingwood are just getting their numbers into the back third so well, but they're then running forward.
It was interesting.
Really?
It was interesting. Dane Swan got the ball in the middle of the ground. It almost looked fine because they do work the ball so much around the arc. But we've spoken about all year about Collingwood's ability to turn turnovers into scores, and they've done that again.
good finish. I mean, we've only seen the end of it, but the way the ball, Collingwood are bouncing the ball out of their back third, and virtually scoring every time. Well, they're cutting Fremantle apart.
They're converting their turnovers into inside 50s and then obviously goals. They've had the last 7 inside 50s for 4 goals, so Freo will really need to tighten that up.
Yeah, 4 goals, 3 in fact, Tom, so they are scoring all the time when they go forward. Here's Ballantyne. Well, they need a late one for sure. O'Brien takes a chance. Ibbotson is almost going to go off the ground. Back to Hazelby, back to 5. Left foot inboard, wanting Pavlich. Gee, you think back to that Pavlich goal. It was a long time ago, wasn't it? It wasn't allowed. He's gone.
Stay there, Matt.
So Ballantyne over the ball.
Move it on.
That would have put the Dockers in front.
Yeah.
That's an eternity ago in the context of this match. Swan, bit of a sloppy kick and finds the boundary line, but there's been nothing sloppy about the Pies in this opening turn.
It's a great opportunity for the Dockers to be presented with at the moment. They're under the pump, they're at home, and they're on the big stage. From an experience point of view, it's fantastic. So we'll learn a little bit about the young side.
Jolly hooks it down behind, falling to the ground. Ibbotson across to Hazelby, floats it towards Main from behind Maxwell. That was too easy to kill that ball for Maxwell, and taking it across the line is Shaw. So under 2 minutes out from quarter time. There's De Boer, got Fremantle's opening goal. Shaw, meantime, just pops it to the pocket with his good mates. Johnson breaks away, drives it around the outer side. Cloak. They use a lot of the oval to the Magpies. Dawes is going to be penalised. Broughton went to ground pretty easily. Needs to be careful.
If he hadn't let free kick against Collingwood, we're going to outnumber about 4-2.
You almost dare the umpire not to pay a free kick in that situation, don't you? There's Duffield with the clock counting down. Duffield deep in his own defensive area now.
Great vision down the ground there. We saw Leon Davis directing traffic defensively, making sure all the Collingwood players are in the right part of the zone.
Broughton, look at this. 5 Collingwood players around Crowley. It comes to Jolly. Awkward looking kick across the ground. Tarrant's got it. Time for a goal here.
Tarrant to Johnson, and boy do they need it. So Johnson off one step and then a high ball. Main at the back. Maxwell top spot. Main looking to give off. Gets to the left and then good kick inside to Ibbotson within range. Did well there, Main. He just made the right decision in the end.
He did, and didn't give away the free kick, which is important. He's in the back position, but he had a genuine leap at the footy. That was that free kick that turned the Collingwood attack.
I've got an opportunity to dodge a bullet here. Collingwood are all over him down the other end of the ground. The turnover from Jolly could hurt.
Missed the last 5 weeks with the shoulder that he did against the Bombers. He struck it beautifully. Now that's a bonus. That's a lucky break for them. Beautiful kick. Jolly could not have picked out that Fremantle player any better if he tried.
No, I think he was just trying to kick the ball forward and completely missed the kick, basically, because it was a really bad turnover. But I like this, the way he just leapt at the footy without actually the temptation is to try, and because he was in a good position, Maxwell, to actually try too hard from behind, give away the free. I thought he played that really well.
Well, it's really important the Dockers back themselves in. Mark Harvey's given them a licence to take the game on through the corridor, go for the marks like Chris Main did then. So it's important when they're under the pump like this to stick to the process that have made them a successful side so far this season.
Hint of a limp there. McFarlane going around the boundary. I would imagine that Michael Malthouse is anything but jolly right now. And that's the problem with our game. The ball goes exactly where you kick it. Jolly, keen to make amends. Left the football behind. There's the siren for quarter time. Terrific by the Magpies. They would be regretting that late goal, but gee, they played some good football. Collingwood 7-3-45 and Fremantle 3-3-21. This is Friday Night Football.
those turnovers into scoring opportunities. So they're the two areas of the game I'd be looking at.
Well, the lead's still manageable as far as the Dockers are concerned, thanks to that late goal. Morabito comes off the line of the square, had the football jarred away from him. Barlow smothered by Thomas. Ball. Thomas flicks it out into the path of Beams. He's forward of the wing. High ball down towards Dawes. Dawes with the man reaching over the top. Silvani getting it out of bounds. So a boundary throw in right on the 50, and Collingwood on the march out of the middle again.
And one of the results of that bad tackling effort that quarter by Freo is Collingwood got 7-3 from only 13 inside 50 entries. That's way too high. The midfield pressure, not enough.
Sandilands and then Davis and Ball showing some real toe there, and then hooking back to about 15-20 metres. Dawes, and with him Silvani. Hayden back to Sandilands, back to Duffield, to Mundy, and then Barlow, and then Broughton, and now Swan gets it back. Good looking kick, and the bounce just going straight on.
That was typical Collingwood, just put the pressure on. You could see what Fremantle were trying to do. They're trying to run and create and get the ball out in space, but just the inferred pressure and then the actual effective turnover could have easily resulted in a goal.
Wherever the ball is, Collingwood are getting a lot of numbers around the footy. So if Fremantle do get it, they've got a lot of Collingwood players to try and get away from. But then when they get it, Collingwood are really breaking into space.
Quick thinking by Dane Swan moments ago, averaging 29 possessions a game this season. What's new? Behind the pack, Tuvey, dragged down. It spills across towards Cloak, and Cloak is holding the ball. Crowley will get the free. Crowley plays on immediately. McPhee, they need to move it now into the path of Broughton. Tracks it up towards the wing. Broughton kicking down towards half forward. Eyes on the football. Wonderful concentration there. He's awarded the free kick against O'Brien. Pavlich again outnumbered. Gee, that's an ambitious place. It's not position A, and there are 3 Collingwood players there.
Well, we saw the first mark. We're seeing Johnson here. There's 3-on-1 Collingwood to Fremantle. Then they've gone down again the line. 3-on-1 Collingwood to Fremantle. Again, the work rate for the Pies at the moment is massive. Jolly front spot.
But the Dockers have half a chance here. Morabito in hard along with Thomas. So Pavlich starts his quarter at full forward after starting the opening term in the centre square.
Hey, Bruce, the Bucks.
Yeah.
Just saw the Bucks.
Doing a good job, isn't he, the Bucks? Forward coach. Well done, Ball, who's been terrific. That was brilliant. To Beams. And then Beams leans back and then kicks to Dawes. Silvani timed it pretty well, got through Tarrant. Hayden has been mopping up very well tonight. Hayden decides to unload. Sandilands and Pavlich. Front spot was Maxwell. Tuvey in there, Beams. Shaw waits. Handball put Reid under the pump a bit, but he did well, Reid. And then handballs to Ball. And then Ball goes backwards with pressure, though. Wasn't a great handball. Fife's tackle's a beauty. Collingwood to Johnson.
Johnson, sweeping hand pass. Reid's run on, drives it towards the wing. Mark taken by McPhee. Plays on immediately. Johnson Hayden. Looping hand pass. Mundy waits. Looks towards the middle now. Duffield likes to run at them. Kicks inside the forward 50 and Main's kick.
That was a beautiful kick. Pavlich was on the lead, but it was really good that they were able to think that Main was in a better position and not go to the skipper. That's, I think it was brought good use.
Heavy landing too for Maxwell.
But on that with Main and Pavlich, it's all forward lines now do so much structural work where they have running patterns, you have triangle patterns, you have square patterns. So no surprise that Main knew exactly where Pavlich was going to go.
Now Main has given the ball to Crowley. Crowley will kick it goal from 35 out. And he comes, important kick, and he puts it through the middle. Nice start for the Dockers.
It's a great transference of play by Fremantle. They had the ball and outnumber out on the far wing. 3-on-2 it was, being able to bring the ball back into the middle corridor, and then obviously get the ball into the inside 50 and share the ball. They do share the ball a lot inside 50. They have a lot of disposals in their forward arc, and a good finish by Ryan Crowley.
Alan Didak's going to have a real think about where he finds himself on the field then. He was a defensive player. He actually had to pick up Crowley. Crowley started the game on Thomas and has gone to Didak in this second quarter.
First time tonight, consecutive goals for the Dockers. That late one in the opening term, and now the first of the second. So the scoreboard tightens a bit from 31 down to 19.
They've already had 5 tackles this quarter, Freo. They only had 10 in the first quarter, so their intensity's been sparked. Might have been a message from the coach, Mark Harvey.
Jolly favoured by the bounce, tried to belt it forward. Beams read it well, and then they spread to Johnson. Hill's got him.
Gee.
Johnson clever, well done. Got it to Ball, and then Ball inside the 50. Anthony made a good fist of it. Silvani courageous in the front, but then gave it up to Dawes, to O'Brien, who's been important early. Duffield looking for a handle, keeps it in, and then caresses the ball with a beautiful kick to Johnson, who's so important for the Dockers.
That is a sinking feeling when you run past the footy. You have to reach back for it. Duffield's got it now in more comfortable circumstances. To Silvani, the famous name. Duffield runs on at the defensive 50. Looks up the middle. Davis didn't chase too hard. Ballantyne's got the football just short of the centre circles. Play on, he doesn't need to be told twice. He's running hard, got it back from Mundy. Cuts a swathe, goes short to Crowley. Crowley turns around, spots a man. Palmer goes back, knocked away by O'Brien. Palmer nabs him, loose ball. Palmer comes again. Pavlich is over the football, claimed by Brown. They will have a ball up 15 metres out.
Both players in there.
Whoa.
I reckon if Maxwell fell awkwardly and on his shoulder, but he looks like he's okay. But Duffield is the player that Fremantle want coming out of defence. I reckon he really picks them out.
Jolly tucked it back off the ground. I think the ball is a goal all the way. It's a goal.
All clear.
Crowley probably in the end. De Boer, I reckon, got the first toe poke. And Crowley might have kicked his second for the term.
And we might not see the whole build-up to this, but when Duffield came out of defence, that started the flow. Good scrub off the ground.
And it was Duffield's ability to find, it was Ballantyne at the time in the middle of the ground, and then Ballantyne having the courage to play on, take a risk, get a handball off Mundy, just get back to that Fremantle we've seen in the first part of this season, generating some excitement, and then comes with a goal like that, all of a sudden you're back in the game. Tackles are the key stat for Fremantle at the moment. They've really lifted their intensity, and as a result they're getting the forward movement.
So on further review, Bruce, De Boer.
De Boer's goal.
Yep. He's got 2 now. Back in the middle. In fact, you might only have the 1.
Yeah, Hazelby got that first one. De Boer gave
right.
it to him. Yeah.
Exactly. Out of the middle. Morabito smothered off the boot. After it goes Johnson. Feeds it forward. Swan, not 15. Side bottom under pressure. Goes back to Thomas. Taken down by Main. Suddenly the energy is with the purple. Over the top from Palmer to Crowley. Used to barrack for the Magpies. Kicks inside the forward 50. Off hands, Pavlich arriving quickly, Shaw. He was unsure. Pavlich off the ground. Hazelby, still Hazelby. Great tackle, O'Brien. Pavlich! Pavlich over the shoulder.
We spoke a few times, haven't we, Tom, about the tackling. And that tackle on Thomas, that was the turnover that created the ability. Thomas was almost free midfield. Fantastic. Bit like 2 scrub goals in a row where he's just outworked the Collingwood defence.
Pavlich is such
look easy, didn't he, over his shoulder. Over his head, it wasn't over his shoulder, it was tied over the top of his head.
For a guy of his size, he's a key position player and moves like a midfielder. I just love watching him play.
Out of the same draft, those guys. Hazelby taken at 2 and Pav taken at 4.
Hazelby's been not a fine, but a fantastic player this year.
Down to you, Tim.
Collingwood are really going to have to tighten up on some of these Fremantle midfielders. They've had too much width in this first part of the second quarter, particularly Crowley's been on his own 4 times when they've gone forward.
Speak of Crowley, Tim, right on cue. Palmer out of the centre. Doesn't get much on it. Oh, well done, Morabito. To Johnson. Not a good kick. Taken by Shaw. You know, since the 05 season, only Favol has kicked more goals than Pavlich. I mean, we forget sometimes what a great goal kicker he's been. He does it all, doesn't he?
In a bad team, Bruce.
Yeah, and not playing in the square too often. You're talking to him at half-time, looking forward to that, Dennis. Here's McCaffer.
Drives it towards half forward. Side bottom a half chance. Stopped well by Silvani. Tries to knock it out to Hayden. Hayden on his knees. Davis is in there. Really sighted Davis. That ball slow to release. Dawes comes away with it. Knocked away though by Johnson. Dawes kept at it. Ibbetson's over it now. Gets a hand pass to Hill. Here's trouble. Hill around the corner. He is so good with his feet. Now a chance for Barlow. Barlow runs down at 55. Lines up. I think his dad might enjoy this. Herb. Oh, just off to the left. What an odd journey it's been for this young man, making such an impact in the AFL.
Just amazing. First-year player and is their highest disposal gatherer for the year. Been terrific.
So Tuvey gets it from Reid. Now Collingwood being asked a question. Good mark by Anthony. Kicked the opening goal tonight. It's been a very impressive comeback by Fremantle. A lot of footy to be played even in this first half. Terrific mark by Dawes. And then quickly on Davis all on his own. And off he goes. And for not the first time tonight, Collingwood with a quick entry into the 50 get a goal.
You don't see very often when the forwards outnumber the defenders in the forward 50, but Collingwood have done that 4 or 5 times tonight, where actually they've just got forward. And really, this kick here where there's McPhee and about 4 Collingwood jumpers. He made one mistake, though. He should have at least looked 4 Collingwood jumpers in the goal square.
4 Collingwood players all together in the goal square.
Another injury concern for the Dockers. Broughton has now just gone down into the rooms for some treatment. Looks to be on his right ankle. So they've got 2 injury concerns now, the Dockers.
Okay. Does that explain the loose men on the forward line? I wouldn't think so. Sandilands, interesting hand pass straight up in the air. Arriving quickly, Main. He's been lively. Always gives a contest. Mundy on his knees. Swan digs it out of there. Wood, Johnson on the overlap. Goes down towards half forward. Dawes hits the ball hard. He's very good at that. 55 metres out. It's 1-on-1 all the way. Anthony was being held no free in front. McPhee does well. Morabito is running. Not much to kick to. Comes back to Palmer. Palmer just up and under in hope. Mundy made it look okay. That was clever. Mundy taking a while. Feeds it back inside the defensive 50. They've got extra numbers though. McPhee, Duffield to Crowley having a good turn. Crowley looks towards the middle. Takes a while. The push affected the kick. It was a good chase there by Anthony. Getting very high and going after it at the second attempt from Mark McCaffer. It comes out to Johnson from Barlow. Short one to Sandilands. This boy can kick it a long way. Morabito runs to 50. Distance will not, well, it might be. Off hands and a minor score. Not sure what he was doing there. Was he taking a shot or trying to set it up? In fact, he'd run the distance from the back pocket, so maybe we can forgive him for the kick.
It's good counter-attack, though, by the Dockers. They're under pressure at half forward. Sandilands, Tuvey, Swan, Sandilands, it's a goal! The big guy can do it all! He can run, he can rove, and he can snap it home.
Yes, I think that Morabito shot, we sometimes forget they've run about 60 or 80 metres before they have the shot when fatigue is setting in, but he just is a wonderful player, Sandler's now. He's just so big, but he's agile at ground level, and it doesn't seem surprising that he can turn the ball across his boot. And
just the skill level for such a guy that big, and he's taking contested marks, he's getting clearances, he's doing the work, he's the best ruckman in the game.
The other thing with him, he hardly ever goes off the ground. As we go down to you, Tim.
They're not concentrating the Pies like they did in that first quarter. A lot looser around the stoppages. Hill was actually on his own at that stoppage in the forward pocket then too, just behind Sandilands. So there's some work to do for the Pies.
There he is again, the big guy. Just throws it on the boot. 7 times in his career. He's kicked 2 goals, never 3. He's on a roll. 2 before half-time. Hazelby back towards the 50. Main had it tapped away by a teammate, Crowley. Crowley is red hot at the moment. Morabito robbed of the football down there by Maxwell. Paddled out of bounds by Pendlebury. And we'll have a throw in. Valentine manages to upset everybody.
Good numbers, isn't it, for a big fella? 210 centimetres odd.
Whoa, he was thinking goal there, I think. His eyes lit up like a guy who just found $50 in the suit he hadn't worn for a while.
Hands on it.
He'd have deep pockets, wouldn't he?
He's never been there.
All right.
Wonder where he does buy his trousers. Might be big ones. What a player he is. The tap. Good tackle. Morabito's had a pretty big couple of minutes here. That was on Johnson.
It's a great contest in there. I mean, the Fremantle forward pressure's been pretty good all night, but when Collingwood get their numbers back, as they have now, and get possession to space, that's when they've actually their attacking surges have been initiated.
Sandilands again, front spot. Main couldn't quite. Hazelby over the shoulder. We heard the umpire. And then O'Brien happy to be taken over the line for boundary throwing.
So many numbers down there. It's almost it'd be 75%, 80% of the players there. This is where Sandland's got a real advantage. He can try an adventurous hit, get it out in space. He's got a real...
Whoa.
Just there we go.
Pavlich missed it. Barlow's got it. Sandland's doing much as he likes down there. Competes for the mark as well. Falls to Hazelby. In goes Davis. Jarred out of there. Away comes Thomas. Drives to the outer side. The Magpies need a goal. Cloak's been good. The defensive side of the wing, though. Well, it's 2-on-1 deep.
If Davis out this side, if they can get it out here, that's where Collingwood have really been breaking out on these plays.
Here's Pendlebury. Just working it around. Counter-punching for the moment. Tarrant does well against his old club. Reaching over the top. Pendlebury can't keep it in. The kick intended for Dawes, but Tarrant closed him down very quickly.
Great work by Chris Tarrant. About 10 seconds before that, he really pushed hard back to help out his opponent, then still had the energy and the endurance to the closing lead on the defensive spoils.
Very casual by Wood. McCaffrey did well. Thomas. Now Johnson spins out of trouble. Well played. Floats a kick towards half forward. Tarrant. That was a difficult one to mark. But found some dirty air. Bounced off his hands and out of bounds.
Didn't spin at all, did it? Just sort of floated towards him right at eye level. So Wood and Johnson. Hill was at the back trying to read it. Thomas did very well and then gets the ball inside the 50. Davis using his body. Duffield and then Didak, so clever here. Couldn't quite get on the right. Must have heard me. Davis fetching it. Didak goes back for a second try. Beams his handball. Good. Cloak with the left foot. Gets it to about 15 metres. Dawes at the back. Ball was lurking. Dawes' handball. Side bottom. Who loves a goal and just misses. And Collingwood were not missing anything in that opening term. Well, I would have backed Didak from there.
Great steal by Sidebottom. So Hayden to bring it in.
I got it in.
Short one. Duffield. Goes straight up the middle. Do you mind? McLean dropped the mark. Now they've got a problem. Ball to Didak goes with the right boot. And the right boot did him in.
Ambitious kick from Duffield. It was great to see him back himself in, but we saw with the camera work, he had nowhere to go. Collingwood structured up the defensive zone so well that he really had to take the risk, and it almost came back to bite him.
Guess that was as much a mark as Cameron Wood was.
I reckon it was, Lee. I reckon it was.
Yeah.
Maybe we should say they all should or they all shouldn't.
Oh, that's not a good kick, obviously. So Duffield.
Do you think they should be or they shouldn't be?
Look,
those just little marks like that.
Shouldn't be.
Shouldn't?
Yep, bit longer.
So side bottom, just outside the 50. Decides to go with a long ball. Dawes and also Cloak. Well, that one is a terrific, strong mark by Cloak. You can see side bottom working it out. You've got two big marking forwards. I'm going to put it to their advantage.
He was well positioned, Tarrant, too, so that was a really good, strong
mark.
Mark 15 metres out.
He's having a good season, isn't he? I mean, last year he was down. He had the big year a couple of years back, probably 3 years back now, Cloak. Really found some goal-kicking form on Anzac Day. And here for a third, well, there you go.
Well done, Bruce.
Yeah, I've done Didac twice, and now I've done Clokey. Gee, that was a massive miss.
He was 15 metres out, and he just tried to steer it through. Didn't have any momentum through the footy. When he kicks the ball 50 metres, he'll kick it firm, but that was a classic close in. Oh, I shouldn't miss from here. Don't kick through the footy.
You've seen many things, Michael. Didn't want to see that. Duffield decides to go straight down the middle to the tall target. It works out okay. Off the hands of Sandilands to Ballantyne to Johnson. Look at Ballantyne run on. Well, the hand pass was behind him. He goes after it. Hand passes across to Pavlich. Pavlich hooks it down towards half forward. From behind, Crowley gave a contest. Hill gets a hand pass away. Missed Mundy. Mundy knocks it forward. In comes McPhee back towards Pavlich. Well, he missed McPhee. Opportunity now for Anthony at close quarters to Swan. He storms away from half-back, goes down towards half-forward. Here's a chance for the Pies. Davis into the path of Cloak. It's a race. Two men who know each other very well, and Cloak wins it. Cloak kicks the goal, so he's made a 7-point play, if you don't mind.
Well, the way that ball was being set up, I couldn't see how Cloak was going to beat Tarrant to it. He's got plenty of speed, Tarrant. Fantastic effort there. I thought McPhee was good there to actually create the contest, but in the turnover.
It was just, I mean, just a game of inches.
Here we have here. See, that.
It's good strength.
Maybe it was the left side.
Yeah.
He was pushing into his left side, just wasn't strong enough on his right foot to hold himself in there.
Well, Broughton, the good news for the Dockers is Broughton's back on the ground. The bad news is they've just lost Mundy. He's limped from the ground, clutching his right knee.
Oh.
They're keeping you busy, Tim. So McFarlane in the opening term, Broughton and Mundy. Cloak with 3 first-half goals. Pavlich's handball. Sandilands, well done. Didac down low. And then Pendlebury to O'Brien. Liked his game. And then O'Brien quickly on. Davis setting himself. Broughton did a good job, but Davis is going to win it by the look of it. Then he has to go and try and get it again. Taps it forward. Palmer, Tarrant. And then McPhee looked like he was legged. Under pressure now. Davis back to Broughton. Broughton's handball, or danger. And Anthony, well, didn't quite. We've had the last 5 scoring shots, Collingwood, for 1 goal 4 here.
They've been under incredible pressure down there, the Dockers defence, and they're playing that way. They've just got a bit nervy. Collingwood just getting shots from every opportunity.
Still like that rule, do we? There's Palmer.
Move it on, play on.
Just drops it across to left half back. Silvani. And Silvani off his step. O'Brien reached for it, didn't touch it. Well, McPhee ran off the line. Pavlich, though, did well over the top. Morabito, that's a good hand pass. Releases a man down towards half forward and Crowley, but Crowley kicks it to Thomas. Thomas having a terrific season. From half back, drives it towards the wing. Dawes kept his eyes on the footy. Well done. Not easy.
Fantastic read by Thomas. That was 1 on 3 and the 1 got it.
There's a lot of hair involved in this duel. O'Brien breaks away from Main, sends it down towards half forward. Tarrant should mark. Well, he did well. Knocked it down to the advantage of Everton. Everton's hand pass comes across to Barlow. Barlow, Palmer, back to Barlow, runs through midfield, kicks inside the forward 50.
Hazel being a contest free kick, I think. Coming back to Hazelby.
You turned and faced the footy and made contact, Nick. Straight back. Straight back.
Gibalo did well because he was almost brought down in the tackle. Then he had the composure to balance himself again and kick to Hazelby's advantage.
I think the definition is there. If you do turn around and look at your directed player, and especially if you lay hands on him, the free kick's there.
So Hazelby gets his second goal and the Dockers close the gap again.
Well, there's not much you can do if you're coming back with a flight of the footy. You would have thought Maxwell did that, played that about as well as you could as a defender. Certainly the player going for the mark gets every opportunity. We see that, but I thought he turned, but then when the ball arrived, it was basically a body-to-body pushing contest. But I think most of the time the player in Hazelbury position with heaps of protection.
Still a bit bemused, I think, the Collingwood captain. It was a good moment for Tarrant a moment ago because he's been struggling a little, and whilst he didn't take the mark, as Dennis said, he did a good job actually to stand his ground, and from that effort they were able to go forward. So Collingwood by a kick and a half again. Pavlich held up very well. Crowley, a terrific quarter. He missed a target a minute ago when they were going forward. The Dockers have done a good job from 31 points down at one stage in this match and 24 points down at quarter time. They get back to a very manageable total 5 minutes from half time.
Jolly did well, knocked it down to Ball. His kick was smothered, socket forward by Swan, picked up brilliantly by Dawes, tumbling forward, tries to give it to Didak, won away by Ibbotson to Pavlich over the top. Crowley once more gives it to Hill. Hill comes back to Crowley. Crowley with the man on, the biggest man on the ground. He didn't see him. Sandilands at centre half forward. Doesn't matter. Went to Hazelby, who took a terrific grab.
Both these sides, the way they're offensively running out of the back half, it is just numbers. Fremantle had about 4 players that were actually just heading down the centre corridor. Good strong mark by Hazelby, no doubt about that. But gee, the offensive run from both sides is magnificent.
Running in waves both sides and using the hand and just getting the ball into their 50 as quick as they can.
I think people forget before Jimmy Bartell, Paul Hazelby was the yardstick for a marking small man. And he misses this attempt. 9 points the difference, Tim Watson.
Talked about Crowley earlier. He's had 10 possessions in this second quarter, and about 4 or 5 of those have actually been balls inside 50, so he's getting a lot of width.
Shaw's kick. McCaffer made good position, couldn't take the mark. Dockers have got the numbers. Crowley again, couldn't get an effective one there. Didak, and then Reid on his left foot. Hayden was going to go across in front and then decided to leave it for Wood and McPhee. McPhee's had some good moments, and that was a terrific tackle. Hayden, Hill, elusive, has to be quick. Ibbotson, did he get him in the back? Yep.
It's 50.
Well, if that previous one in the first quarter was a 50, that had to be 50.
It has to be. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
I don't think either of them were 50, to be honest. I mean, players, you just can't expect players to react instantly to what the umpire's thinking, but certainly very different to the one earlier.
So Tarrant short to Broughton.
Don't you boys forget the commercial coming up at half-time, will you?
Now, we respect umpires. That doesn't mean they don't make mistakes. We all make mistakes.
Barber goes out wide towards left half forward.
Well, some of us do.
We all make them.
You didn't when you played, Lee. You might up here, but you didn't when you played.
Thomas to Cloak to Shaw around the outer side towards half forward. Falling over down there. A bad result for Tarrant. Side bottom to Beams. Open goal. And he hangs it out to the right.
Dodged a bullet there, Tarrant and the Dockers. Here we are. We see the potential 50 here. There's a free kick. Get the ball.
I think sometimes they're just. I know they're wasting time, but that's not a wasting time. And the correct decision, I think, was made then to bring the ball back.
So Collingwood, who were 5-0 at one stage, are up to 9-9. They've missed a few chances, particularly in the last 10 minutes in front of goal. Johnson did well.
Look forward to the footy players. Geez, a lot of forward to the footy tonight.
Morabito to Main, and here we go. Hill balances up. He'll go over the top to Hazelby. O'Brien. Hazelby couldn't quite. 5, still 5. Handballs back. Sandilands, well done to Bohr. He was legged to Bohr. Well, and then Reid got a high tackle and a big free kick.
Fife couldn't have been any closer to the goal.
No.
I don't think he was able to take the shot, though.
It was a sloppy handball to a bloke who's 7 foot. It was just a bit too low.
Could have been anything up to 13 foot in the air, but it was at his ankles.
Swan.
High ball towards the wing, and Jolly being held must get the free. Wants to go. Just under 2 minutes to half-time. Cloak has been terrific. Man on in the square. Wood. How about that? They've done that 3 times tonight, getting in behind the defence. Wood turns around and kicks the goal.
Well, it's all about decision making. When I think it was Hill, when they were coming through the wing, they had 4 players running inside and they went to the Hazelby matchup. Didn't quite mark it, and then when that one went to his feet, Collingwood won the footy, but it was just a flow. Just the amount of players that are running forward to the footy. I mean, it's hard to see on the television screen, but when you see where the ball in the middle of congestion, there's almost inevitably some attacking players forward side.
Fremantle are really pushing very hard forward offensively, but the opposite side of the coin is they've got to work back. And Wood's been able to sneak forward on this occasion. We've commented a couple of times tonight how the Collingwood forwards have actually outnumbered the Fremantle defenders.
Cloak's won a lot of one-on-ones against Tarrant too, and that was another important one. His marking has been a feature.
Back! White ball! In the back.
So often, Luke Ball, 150th game.
Move it on!
This last 3 weeks for Collingwood have been really impressive. Michael Malters will tell you that he's been doing well right from the gun, but McCaffer, not a good kick. Hill couldn't take it clean either. Toe poke clever enough. Ballantyne got down low. Hill again a little toe poke. Crowley so effective in this quarter. Inside 50. Long kick. Magnificent kick. What a result. What a quarter he's playing.
What about the soccer skill from Stephen Hill?
Yeah.
A couple of just
Crucial
little
contest.
sockers, get the ball out in space, and that created we'll see the couple of them here. There's just a little, he's under pressure, just kicks it out into the space.
Kept going, which was the best part.
He's under pressure
Continually
again,
back at
kicks
the
it out
ball.
into the space. That was wonderful thinking.
Hugely important goal for Fremantle. We saw them get so close with the Sandilands down to the other end of the ground. Collingwood transferred the play to get a goal. Really important they got within 10 points again. It's a massive stage of the game, this one right now. States the obvious.
Such a high-scoring game, is it? 9 goals to 10 before half-time. The defence has not existed.
Michael Malthouse, no doubt, hoping his side doesn't concede a late goal as they did in the first term right here. Down goes Crowley. I mentioned he grew up barracking for Collingwood. His idol was Gavin Brown. Plays a bit like him too.
Just on that point, they have actually leaked quite a few goals in their last 2 games. Collingwood 102 points and 91 points consecutively.
Sandilands makes a statement. He knocks it down towards half forward. Cloak over the football. Pavlich has got in. They wrestle on the boundary line. Battle of wills. Holding the ball. No, it's going to be a boundary throw in. Pavlich wants to take a kick.
You did fall out of bounds before my whistle went. Yes. You did, so it's a throwing. It's a throwing.
Fair enough.
His whistle went before mine, Matty.
It's an interesting call.
Yep. Often see that paid, don't we? The boundary line doesn't help a lot of players. Did that time. But fair enough if the boundary umpire blew the whistle first. O'Brien floats it to Broughton. They're down to 18 seconds. Not a lot of time to work with, but Duffield has got the football. Ibbotson is on. Now they should score something from here. Ibbotson goes inside the forward 50. On the lead down there, McPhee. Shaw did well to O'Brien. And the danger has passed. Didak has got the football. Collingwood have got the lead. And we've got a thriller. Half-time on Friday Night Football. 10-9 to 9-5. 10 points after the margin was 24 at quarter time. So the Dockers are coming.
We don't see so many games as free-flowing as this tonight. I mean, I call it forward of the footy. There's so many players that are actually getting forward of the footy. That's why we're talking 19 goals to this point.
Down to Tim, who's with Dane Swan at half-time. Tim.
Well, Dane, you've got a real game on your hands now.
Absolutely, mate. We let it slip in that quarter, and which is a bit disappointing. So I'll have to reassess what we did in that second quarter and come out in the third quarter and have a lot better intensity.
Sandilands is a big factor. How does that change it for you as a midfielder, somebody that's so dominant in the air like he is?
Yeah, well, of course he's going to win the majority of the hit-outs, so we have to kind of, mix up our structure a bit and sort of rope him a little bit. But he's saying that we've got to keep faith in our structures.
Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
Yeah, thank you to Dane Swan there at half-time with Tim, who's been all over Ryan Crowley in that first half. So on Friday Night Footy, we do have what should be.
And really what Collingwood are going to have to contain. I mean, the Dockers did get away from in that second quarter is their spread from the stoppages.
Start of the third term then, Friday Night Football. scramble, and the umpire will do it again.
Thank you.
69 plays 59. It was 24 at quarter time. Collingwood 7 goals in the opening term after Fremantle won the toss. Sandilands, who's been a Goliath out there, punches the ball forward. Hill left without it. Swan didn't. Kicks inside the forward 50 for the Magpies. Hangs a long time in the air, and Broughton backed his judgment. Stepped around and took the mark. Comes towards the wing intended for Morabito. Well done. Tuvey hits the ground running. Wayward kick though down towards the pocket, although might have to reconsider that. Dawes has taken the mark on his chest. Maybe that was Tuvey's intent. Now, a couple of weeks back we saw Dawes in a similar situation, hard against the line, slot one, and then proceed to miss a couple of easy ones after that. But maybe he likes the pressure off. Not expected to kick this. But on this ground, this is a very difficult kick. Going to the Austin Robertson Jr. end of the ground. Or if you like, the Western end. Dawes. Just brushed the post. Not a bad effort.
I'm stating the obvious, but what a good mark Dawes is. He reads it so well, doesn't he?
I think Travis Cloak's also benefited from having another stronger body up there to take the contested marks in the forward 50.
No doubt. Morabito wins it back after the earlier handball, and then not a good kick. Shaw has been quiet. In fact, Shaw and O'Brien, Tom, you pointed out to me, not many disposals in that first half.
Yeah, I think Harry's actually been down the last couple of weeks, but Shaw had a huge game of 31 possessions last week, but only both under half a dozen so far.
Big fly came from Broughton. Crowley there. What a second term Crowley had.
Interesting, Bruce, when you look down deep into attack for Collingwood, the size advantages they've got in the matchups. Quite remarkable.
And not McFarlane there as well.
That's right. That's the key to it. And the fact that they decided to go without Kipper or Bradley.
So Sandilands and Jolly. And now Duffield, that left-hand handball didn't find the mark. Thomas, terrific little handball to Tuvey, to Swan, to Johnson. And then Johnson on the right side for him, kicks to Dawes. Silvani had to work him underneath that height disadvantage. Broughton, another guy giving away some height in the back half. Good kick out to Main. It's a terrific competitor, Main. Finds a bit of space.
Now he settles and just pops it over the top. Hazelby feigns a hand pass. Now he goes. He's kicked a couple of goals. Just got it to Morabito. Dropping back is De Boer. He's calling for the footy. Morabito, who is a long kick, gets onto this one. Now Pavlich didn't really go at the football, and as a result, Collingwood bring it away. Pendlebury, crowd wanting a free kick for their champ. Nothing doing. Here's Didak hard against the boundary line. Little chip around the corner. Hayden missed it. Goes again. Tied up by Swan. Jarred out of there. Main lost it. Hayden over it, surrounded by Collingwood players. Coughs it up. Johnson, close quarters to side bottom to Thomas. A little up and under. Got the ball there in time. O'Brien, one of Michael Malthouse's favourites, to Johnson. That was the big fella. Just sat down in front of him. There's a lot still to get past. In defence, down goes Ibbotson. Was he pushed to the back? If not, he's in trouble.
Legal tackle, no prior.
Ball up, about 40 metres out from goal. Nothing much to that. Pavlich gave up without a whimper.
Sandilands just takes it out of the advantage by the bounce, and then Broughton kicks up towards the Pavlich contest. Crowley, well done though by Brown. Barlow goes back to Ballantyne, and then Ballantyne to Crowley. Just has to wait for it. Had half a fumble, slows it down to Duffield. Duffield off one step, hard ball to mark. Poor kick actually. It's a bit like David and Goliath, except David is the big guy.
It's been a bit of a sloppy start to the second half. Both teams committing a lot of turnovers, not getting any real fluidity in the game.
Gee, Ballantyne did very well there to affect the kick, but Swan fortuitously found Thomas.
Thomas inside the forward 50, peeling off and running back towards the boundary is Anthony. Attracts a crowd. Anthony gets the hand pass into the path of Cloak. Stayed on his feet. Brilliant stuff by Cloak. Goes again. Slips it away to side bottom. Side bottom, the high ball down towards full forward. Sandilands is up and juggles the mark. In Wall Street speak, he was too big to fail. Hand pass from Duffield. Untidy. Silvani under pressure. Kicks it to three teammates. They're all a bit plight. Hill did okay eventually to Hayden. Crowley, Dockers everywhere. McPhee, now Barlow. It's one-on-one up ahead. Don't be afraid to kick it. Barlow came to Hill. Now Hill's got a problem. A lot of talent there. Well done by Thomas. Worried Hill out of it. Reid on the deck. Hand pass from Didak. Reid comes again. Tackled by Morabito. Thomas did brilliantly to Didak. Now Swan's away. Short one to Dawes. Back in the middle, O'Brien. Instead he goes to Swan, and Swan low down gives it to Davis.
And then Davis quickly on to the pocket. Ooh. Almost. It was like the Dockers were in a lolly shop and there were so many they didn't know what to do with it.
I thought it was well played by Thomas too. He could see that Barlow wanted him to come at him so he could pop it over the top to Hill, but Thomas held his ground.
Front spot Beams, then Anthony, good little handball, Pendlebury to Davis. You might have been onto something there, Tom. Both teams have just come out. They're
Collingwood.
struggling a bit, aren't they?
Yeah, it's just felt a bit sloppy. Both teams committing the turnovers, and there's just no real fluidity in the way they're moving the ball forward.
Well, both sides have come off the 6-day break, and that was a hard running first half because they really were running up and back in big numbers.
McPhee, Sandilands shoved Jolly out of the way, but couldn't take the mark. Good kick, Anthony, inside. And Johnson can have the first meaningful shot on goal in the second half.
You mentioned the 6-day break, Lee. I reckon for Fremantle in particular, they've come from a long way back over in Brisbane. They came back, I think, at the red-eye flight.
Yeah.
And there's the double whammy of McFarlane, because McFarlane's the key defensive post, and now other players have to carry the slack on top of the 6-day break.
He's kicked 3 goals in the last 4 matches, Johnson, so he's been getting amongst it. And that's a good kick. And Collingwood get a handy break. The first goal after half-time.
So you can look at that Collingwood forward line. Yet Travis Cloke does look the most dangerous player, and Adam McPhee has actually got that matchup. I just wonder whether Chris Tarrant, who's been their best mobile big defender, I reckon I'd be getting him onto the Cloke matchup, and then just trying to use their other medium-sized defenders around your Anthony and Dawes.
Nine goal kickers now for the Magpies. They've been dangerous on the counter, no question about that. I mentioned Kepler Bradley before. Probably played his best AFL game last week. 25 possessions. Stunning he was left out. Not an easy team to pick, I guess. Pavlich, Morabito. But now they're paying the price. No heightened defence at the moment. Will it be their undoing? Getting back is Shaw at centre half back, kicks to the wing. Crowley has been terrific. Full chested, came at the footy. Hill's getting a free. Now with the ball in his hand, Stephen Hill is a dangerous customer.
He's got 55 metres in him, because that's the distance he'd have to kick, and Collingwood are really, as they've done all night,
push the numbers back.
They've just completely blocked the 50-metre arc.
I reckon he could just about go the trip, but I don't think he'll go out.
Got to try and ignore the man on the mark in a way. Just running as if he's having a running kick from that 55-metre mark.
Well, he's winding up. Here he comes. Hill sends it on its way. It's a massive kick. It's a goal.
That's what he did.
That kid can kick a footy.
There's a great contrast to the kick you commented on before, Lee, when it was Travis Cloke. He was only 20 metres out and sort of tried to guide the ball through. Obviously helps when you're further out than 50 metres, and Stephen Hill has done it to a tree. He's lined up and given himself the best opportunity to kick the long goal.
Yeah.
So dangerous with the ball in his hand going in forward to the inside 50, but obviously he's got the leg to go the journey too.
That's the hole. It's amazing how players, they will go and have a normal kicking action when they're full distance out, but when you're the half distance, 30 metres, they just tend to steer it.
Down to you, Tim.
Good news for the Dockers. Mundy's just back out there too.
So the last 9 goals of the match have alternated between Dockers, Magpies, Dockers, Magpies. You get the drift. So goal for goal, we've been going for a while now. Collingwood sit on that goal-and-a-half margin. Beams held on to, no free kick. McCaffer. There is Mundy being tested. Oh, was that high? No, apparently not. Ibbotson got down low, and then Bull.
Pavlich has gone into the middle of the ground, Lee. When the game's up for grabs, like it is at the moment, is he more value in the guts or up forward?
Well, I think when the Collingwood kicked that goal, got 15 points in front, I think that's where you have to put your gut in there and try and get that next goal, which they did.
As good as a kick, of course, from Sandilands, and then Ballantyne and O'Brien. Been a good duel. Ballantyne's had some moments. That one just coming out the back. Ball getting down low. Now he's got a problem. Barlow and Ball. A couple of feisty characters there. They can both find the ball. Oh, gee.
You dived on it, Michael. Lay on.
Wow.
Dangerous to be first to the footy.
That's right. And desperate. Reed around the outer side. Cloak.
Desperate and first to the footy. That's really dangerous.
Got to stamp that out, Lee. As the ball goes inside the 50. Ibbotson stolen by O'Brien. He's played pretty well tonight, O'Brien, the veteran. Hooked it across his body and the ball trickles out of bounds.
Travis Cloak is starting to loom large as the man most likely in the Collingwood forward line. Not with you, Leo.
He looks strong, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks really strong.
Too strong. He's just shoving his opponents out of the way at ground level. Just really strong.
Definitely bigger than McPhee. I'd like to see that move and put Tarrant onto Travis Cloak.
Sandilands has been superb. Locks up with Wood. Sandilands clean possession. Treating them with contempt almost. Palmer's kick almost marked by O'Brien. Crumb there by Swan across the ball. Kicks close to the boundary. Sliding mark Silvani. As cool as you like. It's in the genes.
You know, Stephen could do a few of those, couldn't he? That was a terrific mark. He whipped around in front of Dawes. Not so good the kick. Dawes gets it back to O'Brien, who gets it back to Dawes. Good effort by Barlow down low. Gee, did well. And then Broughton's soft handball. It had to be soft to Pavlich, to Mundy. Running hard, Barlow. And controlled it well, didn't he?
Got to bring the ball in the middle. They're queuing up Ballantyne, Palmer.
Johnson now sees them. Palmer. They want to move it quickly. Collingwood will get some numbers back. Palmer's left foot.
Five can jump.
Well, front spot was McPhee and sitting back was Reed, and he was benefited by a good decision. And then Beams to Davis, to O'Brien.
Swan over the top.
Yep, Swan's all on his own, and O'Brien's going to try and get it all the way. He probably should have centred it more, but Dawes gets it to Swan, who rolls in and rolls it home.
Well, this is an unusual game. The number of times we're just getting forwards outnumbering defenders. It's just such a free. This is why there's 12 goals to 10. It's a matter of who can kick the biggest score, because both sides in the flow are just getting really big numbers free. It's a matter of with that freedom, can they pick the right option? Collingwood are just doing it marginally better.
I think you're right, Lee. It is. It's become a very offensive game and just making the earlier decisions.
12-10 to 10-5, and Collingwood 4 goals from the goal square tonight. But the game is starting to break open. So far in this term, Swan 7 possessions, Barlow 6. We were talking about the possessions being low at half-time. Well, there's another one. Swan got it from Beams, kicks inside the forward 50. Almost McPhee, but he's on the ground. Cloak bounces it through for a goal. He stayed on his feet again.
He just looks too strong in the body. More the balance, the ability to keep his feet and keep his balance against McPhee. I have been surprised that Tarrant isn't taking that matchup, because Cloak, he's kicked 4 goals, but he just looks the best in the body-to-body contest.
It's that quick forward entry, the really long, deep kick. Collingwood have been fantastic at that. And I really do think there's something into it with Chris Dawes coming into the side. Travis Cloak seems rejuvenated the times we've seen him play, and he's playing a fantastic game at the minute.
So Cloak with 4 goals as he did on Anzac Day, Tim.
Great effort by Collingwood to get that last stoppage too. All the big bodies for Freo were in there. Pavlich, Barlow and also Crowley.
Speaking of Pavlich, he gets a bit on that to fall forward. Fife did pretty well, got to the front at the last minute. Ballantyne so quick, Shaw so good though, played it well. It went past O'Brien, Johnson, who kicked the opening goal in this half. Tuvey, good kick Tuvey. For a left footer on that angle, that was a beauty. He kept it in play and to the advantage of side bottom. Side bottom down the line. Now suddenly the Dockers need the next goal. And Cloak, who Tom has talked a lot about with Lee as becoming the dominant figure in the match.
Yeah, we see Mundy on the screen. He still looks a bit proppy. His right knee, it is heavily strapped. He pulls up sore there, and the Fremantle can't afford to have players down. They've got McFarlane down, we've spoken about looking vulnerable down back. Can ill afford to have Mundy in the same boat.
Sandilands knocks it down, gets his own ball. Well done, big fellow, trying to lift his team. Over the football is Beams. What a game he's played. Tries to feed it out to Pendlebury. It didn't release, and the umpire decides to ball it up. That's the right decision. Pendlebury knocked it back in. So a bounce. Sandilands again to Pavlich this time. Hurriedly onto the boot. Stopped by Johnson. Morabito socketed forward. Down went Hill. Davis overran it. Comes out to Pendlebury eventually. Slips it to Beams. He's won a lot of hard ball tonight. Kicks it down towards half forward. Well, this defence now is beleaguered. There's no confidence. Taken by Didak again. Slipping in behind his Cloak. And Cloak will line up at goal. Somebody better get on side bottom who's cruising past.
Cloak's direct opponent there was Adam McPhee. He went to do the right thing to help out here.
Did you influence the contest, though, didn't you?
You've got to influence the contest.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have been better off actually calling Tarrant in, giving him the confidence to take the mark.
Silvani,
Silvani it was. And
So
in the end result's terrible.
Cloak lining up at number 5 to equal his career high. He's done it twice before. And what a time to register it. The margin currently at 23. Kick is working back. 29 points now. Almost 5 goals. Collingwood lead. 8 minutes out from three-quarter time.
Been a fantastic exhibition of scoring from opportunities. 14 goals from 35 entries from Collingwood. That's a great efficiency rate going forward. But the 2-on-1, when the two gets involved in the contest and the other side get the footy, you know that Clape was always heading for the goal square.
The idea was right. He wanted to influence the contest, but he actually didn't do that at all. Would have been better off calling Silvani in to take the mark.
He's had 11 kicks. He's taken 6 marks. He's had 4 inside 50s, Cloak, and kicked 5 goals. So Collingwood dash away to almost the biggest lead of the match. Three-quarter time, Tim Watson will be talking to Mark Harvey, the Fremantle coach. Ball did well. Johnson. Broughton picked it off. Was good mark. Well, they've come from a fair way back once tonight. And they need to get rolling again. Duffield not good. Pavlich, Silvani, great pressure. Ibbotson, he had to go and ride at Ibbotson. He's going to get away with the ball up. It was his best result in the end.
He's just had trouble tonight, Silvani, I think, with the real tempo of this game.
Yep.
Just a couple of times he looks like he's been, a smidgen slow with reaction.
Dennis mentioned Bradley, the other guy who's an emergency is Grover, who had some chance of coming back tonight. Away goes Thomas.
Yes, I think if they had to pick their team again, they might do it a little differently. There was no coverage. Back in defence or for an injury to Sandilands, heaven forbid. The ball's out of bounds. Good pressure by the Dockers that time. Thomas and Pavlich, look at him work back. The big guy just got there and affected the outcome. So a throw in. Johnson giving Sandilands a breather. Well done by Ball initially. Chopped off by Crowley though. High ball. Some holding on there. Ballantyne should have got a free. Battles after the football. Head down. De Boer. Pavlich went to ground. Wanted a free kick. Nothing doing. Wood out of the congestion. Kicks it back towards the boundary. Well wide of the goals. Broughton right on the 50 now. Well dragged down. Terrific by Cloak. No free kick. Play goes on. Pendlebury. Anthony almost goes after it on his knees. This will be a goal. This guy does not mess around. Didak. He of the brilliant feet. And sore knee.
Really turned the tide now. It's important that Fremantle hang tough. It's got out to 35 points. It's been the contested situation, tackling in particular, where the game has turned. There's a fantastic effort there by Travis Cloak. And like they've done all year, they punish the turnovers better than any other side. Collingwood.
You know, when Didak gets the ball 15 metres out, you know what's going to happen with a metre of space.
he probably has played a better game, Travis Cloke, but I haven't seen it for a long time. Have you tonight?
Very good.
And Didak, the 11th goal kicker for Collingwood, which has been their about 11th, for the last 4 wins. So they have been outstanding. Just can't get it inside 50, Freo. Collingwood 8 of the last 9 inside 50s. Sandilands out of the centre, maybe this time. Duffield back to the big guy. And then Sandilands wide to Barlow. Well, they're going to go inside 50 now. Barlow, well, that's not a good kick. That was never going to find the right target. And Tuvey picked it off. Well, for the second time tonight, we're going to find out something about the Dockers. They responded the first time pretty well, but they're actually further back now than they were then. They're 35 points behind the previous biggest lead, having been 31 by Collingwood.
Cloke has been outstanding. 5 goals.
There's the move there. We see Tarrant on a Cloke.
Yeah, and the difference 35 points. O'Brien over the football. Jolly missed it. O'Brien swamped. Broughton flicks it out wide. Johnson, though, that's Ben Johnson, leads back. Clever into the path of Pendlebury. Under pressure, goes along the boundary line. It bounces just inside and goes out. Terrific by Collingwood. Clever by Pendlebury. And they'll regroup.
You wonder why Tarrant didn't take Cloke from the beginning. I mean, Cloke's their most dangerous marking forward, and that's really the matchup that Tarrant generally takes.
Behind the pack after neither ruckman touched it. O'Brien. Johnson slides in. Belatedly flicks it back. Duffield looking for a free kick. And he gets it. Duffield, right half back for the Dockers, who are down by 35.
Would have liked to have seen Chris Tarrant actually make the move himself. He's a senior player in the Fremantle side. It's a young team. He could have had the authority to make the move on Travis Cloke a little bit earlier.
And Duffield kicks to Pavlich, but he's outnumbered. His opposing captain getting involved, Maxwell. So that brilliant Collingwood defence hasn't had a lot to do actually in this term. Jolly, Johnson, Crowley tried to be the third man up. Duffield did well, and then the toe poke by Swan went the wrong way. Ballantyne, well done Johnson, well done Ballantyne, but O'Brien up for it. Swan continuing to get a lot of the ball. In fact, Tim talked about Swan and Mundy at the start of the match. Well, Swan is really getting going, and Mundy, we know, is injured. Here's Hill going inside 50. Oh, lovely man. Gee, that's a good stretch by Barlow.
What about the kick?
Good play around, wasn't it? I mean, the kick was just going to go marginally over his head, but Barlow was just able to hold, not run under the footy.
And what a contrast, Lee. The high draft pick to the battling rookie, this player. The two of the new guys, eh?
Had he kicked it any lower, I think O'Brien would have had a play on it.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been a better inside 50.
No.
So Barlow must goal kick. There you go, into the man on the mark. Chance for De Boer. He tried to ride it. Pavlich tried to toe poke it. Handball back. O'Brien did well. And then Main was wonderful to Pavlich. Pavlich under pressure. Back to De Boer. He doesn't like having a shot. We know that. Maxwell got involved. O'Brien got involved. And Collingwood do really well.
Barlow's shot at goal is exactly what you were talking about. Again, we saw Hill about 10 minutes earlier go back and really drive through the ball. Barlow only 25 metres out and just tried to poke, and actually poked it into the man on the mark.
Bounce. About 10 metres in from the boundary line. You saw the 50. Sandilands over his head. Barlow a half chance. O'Brien swamped, immediately taken down, and the ball does not release.
This is a part of the game that Collingwood have been really good in these. Just a little bit unlucky, maybe just didn't quite know where the mark was. But Collingwood have been really good getting numbers back in these plays, making it hard to score.
Sandilands has given up. He just knocks it goalward that time. McPhee missed the football. Down goes Pendlebury. Tuvey. Brown missed it. Oh, taken high surely. No free kick to Morabito. Crowd upset. The game goes on. Morabito pleading his case. Ugly looking pack out of there. Palmer finds Pavlich. That was the drive-by goal. The Pav was 10 metres off the pack. Not sure what he was thinking about.
It's basic positioning, isn't it? When there's 10 or 12 players all within about a metre or two of the ball, then the player who's got the smarts to get out of that congestion and into space, Pavlich just drifted away. Might have got the free kick there. I'm not sure who's on it. Was it Morabito on the bottom of the pack?
Well, if he wasn't taken high, he should be fined, Lee.
Yeah, well, I was actually thinking about that. We did hear about the acting of the players. That might be case in point.
Well, clearly the umpire thought he was.
Sometimes you just got to take the footy, I reckon.
A lot of players touched, didn't they, before someone finally got a disposal clear?
Reece Palmer. So Pavlich with 21 disposals now, a couple of goals. The Dockers get back to within 5 goals. It's a big margin, but it sort of feels closer. Here's Swan. Terrific third quarter, as Crowley did in the second. Long kick. Johnson didn't time it. Davis lurking. Broughton. Well, it was high originally, maybe. Or has he got no? Yep, it was high.
Just on the second action, slid over the shoulder.
Did well, Broughton, didn't he? I mean, the pressure was right on. The Stocker defence has been good this year, but they are under pressure like they haven't been under for most of this season. Maybe the St Kilda game at times. Here's Silvani in the back half.
And missing McFarlane, one of their keys. What a game he's played. Sandilands just racking up the possessions. The kick not so good though. The mark is taken by O'Brien. So Sandilands 16 possessions and 3,000 ruck knocks. Coming away from half back, it's Shaw. Didak.
13 of those 16 possessions have been contested.
If you're ground level play, you'd only look at Sandlin's hands when you wouldn't bother looking at your own ruckman's hands, surely.
No.
And Swan told him basically that at half time, didn't he?
Thomas takes on Hill, beats him easily, drives it down towards half forward, drifting back. Sandilands, well, too confident. Jolly took the mark in front. Me and my big mouth, he hand passes across to Didak. Didak from 50. What a kick!
I think Darren Jolly was pretty happy with his work there.
And so he should
I guess Sandilands, it looked like he was trying to outreach a bloke who's about 204 centimetres. Well, normally he could do that, but
he's picked the only bloke on the field, I reckon, that he hasn't had a chance to outreach. He's still almost got it. Terrific mark. And he's one bloke that you'd love to have with the ball in his hands around the 50 every time he'll drill that one through. And off for a breather.
So what do? You get the runner out there to tell him to punch?
It's a terrific mark. And I'm not sure Aaron Sandlin's ever spoiled before from behind, and he probably hasn't needed to, but perhaps on that time certainly would have been the best option. And we know how good Didak is from outside 50.
He'll only need it once in the next 1,000 contests, though, so confuse him.
So Sandilands belts it away, but Maxwell read it well, and with a bit of luck, I think, in the end, toe poked it basically to O'Brien, to Thomas. Collingwood again getting away here. It's a big margin just before three-quarter time.
It's got so many dangerous forward-of-the-ball players, haven't they, when they go in there?
Cloak has been the main target tonight, but yet again, more than 10 goal kickers for Collingwood.
Yep.
A couple of times in the Fremantle defence, there's been a bit of miscommunication. Broughton was coming across and probably should have beelined the ball, but was too cautious, I guess, of Tarrant coming through. There should have been a bit more voice, and Tarrant should have called Broughton into the contest.
Thomas read it well, and then on the left foot, kick back, well done, Silvani. You just wonder, watching them tonight, Tom, who the general is down back for them.
Yeah.
I mean, Collingwood obviously is Maxwell.
And I think McFarlane is.
Yep. Well, that's been a huge, was that 50? So that's a gift, isn't it? McCaffrey cut across in front and in main. Over exuberant. Maxwell telling him all about it. Oh. Interesting player, McCaffrey. This is his 11th game. He's played in 2 Anzac days, 2 finals. He's played against Carlton. I think the average crowd that have watched him play in his 10 games is 64,000 before tonight. He draws a crowd.
He's the draw card for us. would never have guessed McCaffrey was a draw card for the Pies.
There you go.
You should talk to him before a game, Bruce.
Let's see if he can kick the goal. He kicked a good one against Adelaide last year in the final, and Collingwood stretch it to 7 goals, basically.
He's one of Collingwood's 30. I think Mick Malthouse has spoken a little bit about the ability to rest players. I mean, very rarely do coaches want to say a player's out because we're resting him this week, but that rotation of 30-odd players that Collingwood work through their senior team regularly. They've been doing it now for a couple of years.
Yep, and they've got some fantastic depth in their VFL side. There's Prestige Como, there's Tarkin Lockyer, these sort of players. So the younger players are getting the experience, which is really important. But they're also getting actually getting the job done for them, which is really important. Come September, you need to have a pool of about 28 to 30 players to get the job done.
Main takes a rest, and the crowd pleaser, McCaffer, born on the 29th of February. So Brent McCaffer, nothing straightforward about him. 112 to 71. Just get the feeling that's better. But maybe Sandilands lost his patience for 5 minutes there. Laid it down into the path of Hill. Can't get it back in one chunk. They've just got to work at it. But Collingwood intent on snatching it away. Sure, terrific. Thomas told to play on. Dying seconds of the third term. Chip up towards the wing. Hayden knocked it down. Hill's over the footy. McCaffer did well. Crowd like that. Kick goes from ball, was it, down towards half forward. It bounces out of bounds. We'll have a throw in.
And that point you made, Dennis, certainly Sandlands gets his hand to the footy, but Collingwood are leading Fremantle 33 to 23 in clearances. So Collingwood still are taking it away mostly at ground level.
And the big fellow was getting a little annoyed moments ago, just trying to thump it. Did better that time. Crowley to Hill. Clean takeaway. Hayden comes across the ground. This will be interesting. Morabito. Tuvey is closing. Morabito put under pressure. It wanders down towards the attacking 50. And McPhee just pushes the ball across the boundary line. Fair to say McPhee not a crowd favourite with the Docker faithful. So boundary throw in 60 metres out. He's done it again, the Grey Fox. Looks like he's got his team home. Still a long way to go, but they're playing the better football now. More confidence. Pavlich reaches after it. Just bouncing around in there. Well, there you go.
Could he kick this, Dennis?
Well, he's going to kick this 70 metres. Has he got 70 in him? Oh,
he's got 55.
Just not working.
No score. So three-quarter time, and Collingwood, big third term. 7 goals in the first quarter, 7 goals in the third term. Suddenly up by a massive, what is that, 29, 30, 41 points, 17-10, 11-5.
Silvani in the centre bounce ruck.
Pavlich forward, which is the other one. So they've obviously put their marking targets up forward.
Final term. One down by Jolly. He must relish the change. Clog charges into the centre square. Gives it to Johnson. Comes out to McCaffer. McCaffer just prods it forward. Taken by Swan. Down towards left half forward. Over the top. Pendlebury's got it. 70 metres from goal. Jolly's run on. And Silvani, the ruckman, is trailing him by about 50 metres. Good hard running, obviously, by Darren Jolly.
And Silva, it's not running power. Obviously, Silvani's got the running power, but he just didn't have the concentration really to find Jolly.
It's a great example of Travis Cloke's strength that you've mentioned a couple of times tonight. Really strong over the ball, not just in the air, but in the contest at ground level also.
Darren Jolly, 5 goals this season. Kicked 16 for Sydney last season. Normally pretty reliable from about this range, but it's quite an angle. And he comes, slides it right across the front of goal, hands to it. That's a mark. Dawes. No, not paid. Pendlebury's got it. Walks around, snaps, and I think he's kicked it behind. Well, I'd like to see that again.
He looked to grab, didn't it, for Dawes?
Yeah.
Did he get the first bite?
Yep. Oh, dear.
Yeah, clean mark, so let off for the Dockers. Now here is Silvani. Interesting role in this last quarter. Short, terrific. And then Mundy, and the ball out of play.
And that was the pace again. He just took an extra step, a little bit too long. It was fantastic smother from Heath Shaw, but just been a little bit off the tempo of the game.
So what can the Dockers do? As Mark Harvey said to Tim, they've had some great last quarters, the Dockers. And that was high on Morabito, and now Fife, about 60 metres out, left foot. They've got some tall timber. Sandilands been mugged.
Well, he certainly wasn't going to spoil that one, I don't reckon, Dennis.
Well, Reid was his opponent, and Maxwell was going to help out, but they just must be scary when someone is that big. I think they held both his arms, one each.
Well, Reid's a big guy too, and he's just such an imposing figure. Sandilands.
He hasn't kicked 3 goals in a match so far, and he's missed a very important shot. I know they're a long way back, but that would have given them something to go on with.
So Shaw comes away, long ball, McPhee goes up, dropped the mark, Hill goes after it, got boot to ball barely. Swan did brilliantly. O'Brien at close quarters to Pendlebury, kicks it out towards the wing. Dawes tracks it, bearing down is Broughton, takes him across the line, regained the football but out of bounds. So boundary throw in 1:13.72, early going final term. Friday night football. 6 seasons with the Bulldogs, 10 here with the Eagles, and now his 11th with Collingwood. Michael Malthouse, clean possession. Barlow kicks towards half forward, helped on its way by Main. Well done, Pavlich. Fife into the path of Pavlich, needs a kind bounce, tracks it towards the boundary. Well done, Brown. Brown got him at just the right moment. He was vulnerable when the ball went out of bounds.
Of course, Mickey Malthouse is good at plotting against the Dockers. As an Eagles coach, they won their first 9.
He's good at plotting, full stop, Bruce.
Sandilands, and now Crowley trying to fetch it. Not sure how many times Adam McPhee's nearly marked a ball tonight. 4 or 5 at least, I think.
Both on the ground as well. I mean, we saw him try and soccer the ball through. He's just been a little unsure with his hands, both in the air and on the ground.
So Jolly the front spot. Ballantyne wanted to give it to Mundy. Well cut off by Beams. Back to Hayden. I mean, it goes without saying, really important the Dockers finish this game strongly. I mean, they've done so much good work in the first 7 weeks of this competition. At the moment, they're 7 goals behind. They kicked to within about 30 metres of goal. Good tackle at the back by Jolly. He's a great contested player, Jolly, isn't he? Now McPhee couldn't quite get clear, and Collingwood wrap it up. They'll be happy with that.
Well, we heard Matthew Pavlich at half-time when his interview with Dennis talking about the outcomes aren't as important as the processes, and this is a prime opportunity to work on those processes going forward.
Sandilands trying to go forward, thumps it to Morabito. He's tried hard, Morabito. Mundy, obviously Beams doesn't like Mundy's, just threw him to the deck. Now Davis comes away out of the back pocket, drives it up towards the wing. They come from all directions, then no one in the last step went at the footy. It bounces back to Duffield, who's tied up, and we'll have a ball up.
So miscommunication again, and a couple of times I think Fremantle have had players in the vicinity to get the ball, but no one's actually called anyone in.
Jolly.
Cloak's presence then.
Could be.
Flicked down of there by Sandilands, close to the boundary. Morabito again, growing in stature. Crowley, who started the game so well, setting his captain a task, and it ricochets off his sock. Oh, I thought that was below the knee. Apparently not.
I think Pav thought it was too.
Yeah, Pav did think it was, and he's an honest man. Oh, Pav.
Thanks ump, he'd be saying about that one, I reckon.
What was that?
Thanks ump. That's the theme of the week, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Thank the umpires.
Of course.
Sorry, Dennis.
No, it's foreign to me. Underneath Duffield. And the ball does not come out, so we'll have a ball up. Well, no, we won't.
You dived on it, you've got to get rid of it. Collingwood's kick.
Steele side bottom at the bottom. Gets the free kick.
To the Collingwood player holding it in. That was a free kick in the pre-season. Not that umpires can see him. It's too hard to see him. But that was basically the Collingwood player held the ball under, or dragged it back under.
Didac to Beams. And there's Maxwell blocking on the mark. And kicking the ball inside the 50. O'Brien started really well in this match. Handball to McCaffer. Hill tries to run him down. Didak, little handball. Duffield went without it. And then McCaffer's handball forward. Hill, Tuvey just worried him out of it. Well done though by Barlow. Kick forward, came from side bottom, was clever.
Gee.
To Davis.
We did talk, I think, last week about him being used to those odd angles with that name, Bruce, and he works him out every time, doesn't he?
Still side bottom.
Speaking before, Bruce, how important it is for Fremantle to stand strong, although the role of the game's not going their way. That's just not good enough. And a slow play like that, firstly, Davis to get it free as he was. It was Johnson gave up on the chase, and then for Luke Ball just to saunter into the forward 50 unannounced and take an uncontested mark.
Well, he kicked 3 against Carlton a couple of weeks back. 150th match tonight, lining up for a second goal, and not going to quite make it. So not a great kick. Dawes goes back to side bottom, almost had his head ripped off. Anthony hooking back to about 10 metres. Dawes a good mark. Sandilands comes in and belts it over the line.
Well, physically, I don't think Fremantle have got much left now. I mean, they really look like they're very fatigued. They're behind on the scoreboard, but that little bit of speed and run they had in the middle of the game has largely disappeared now.
Well, they've been playing one man short for a long time too.
Well, that's another factor of why, yeah.
Here's Crowley. Back to Duffield. Spears a pass to midfield. Few to choose from there. Tarrant takes the mark. 114 to 72. Tarrant goes across the ground. Johnson hasn't seen a lot of it tonight. Heavily strapped with that left knee. Comes to Broughton. Steps around Anthony a couple of times, if you don't mind. Runs away from Jack and drives it down towards half forward. Flying from behind Palmer. Standing his ground, O'Brien did well. Palmer goes in to try and get the footy. Reaching in as well as Pendlebury. And the umpire calls for it.
He's had a quiet night, Palmer. Just his 3rd game back from the long injury. 10 disposals so far. Had a good night last week.
Yeah.
O'Brien. Beams, oh, that's clever. Pendlebury, speaking of clever. Hayden, Didak. Back to Ibbotson. Johnson. Ibbotson got hold of him. Ball did well. Beams, Didak, brilliant thinking. O'Brien, little toe poke. Collingwood did very well there. Like a rugby team, they ran it about 50 metres, didn't they?
They had the run of the play without a doubt about that. But Fremantle did well to hang on there because they were certainly out running forward in the right direction, the Pies.
Collingwood is sneaky, but it's good sneaky. They sort of do you in strange ways sometimes. Fife charged in at the football. Stealing it away that time was Crowley. Gave it to De Boer. High ball. One out down there on the forward lane. Silvani juggled attempt at the mark. And a belated whistle for a push in the back. Silvani will get the free kick.
He landed to his back. It's a free kick.
Not the first time we've seen Silvani go back to forward.
In the back.
And he will line up at goal from about 35 metres out. Bit unlucky, the Collingwood player over the top, Reid. Interesting to see where they go with their fullback, Collingwood, Prestigiacomo. You saw him last week, Tom?
Yeah, he was good. He was actually up and about taking a few running bounces. So we've spoken about their depth. I've certainly got it down the VFL, the Pies.
Silvani kicks well.
I guess the beauty of having a young side at the moment, it keeps it, in particular the younger players, knowing that there's some real talent and some depth and some experience in the VFL side. It keeps them hungry every game they play, and Reid's the fullback of choice at the moment. If he's not continually producing and keeping his direct opponents to only 1 or 2 goals, he'll be out of the side and Presti will come in. So that competition for spots is rife in Collingwood at the moment, and that's foundations for a pretty good team.
Luke Ball's just coming back onto the ground. You can see that right knee heavily strapped. It is bothering him. He's not moving as fluently as what he normally does. So it's going to be a bit of a concern for the Pies, probably in the cooling down process after this game.
So back to a 6-goal game. And the Dockers make some inroads. Barlow, Sandilands, now to Ibbotson. It's his first game for a month and a bit after the shoulder. Kicks to half forward. Well done, Maxwell. Sat up there and Main didn't have much of an opportunity. I think could kick one here and then get a centre break, things could get very exciting, but they're a long way back, and Collingwood, you think, are going to be hard to score against from this point on. Pendlebury's kick doesn't go far. Hazelby just couldn't quite get a handle on it. It'll be a boundary throw-in.
Going into the game, all the talk was how important this game is for Fremantle. I think just as important for Collingwood. They've had to come into state and put on a good show, which they've done.
It's the biggest home and away crowd for the Dockers ever against anyone but the Eagles. So terrific turnout tonight.
Sandilands was good at that boundary throw-in. Ibbotson a half chance. Dawes crashing in De Boer. Still De Boer going. Somehow got it across to McPhee. Back to De Boer. Crashes past a teammate. Morabito did well. Barlow with the wrong boot. Palmer went looking for Hazelby, who crawls after the footy, knocks it across towards Barlow. Back to Hazelby, running out of space and time. Surely that was holding the ball. Play goes on. Well, a boundary throw, and apparently out of bounds somewhere in all of that. Now, what they need to do here, if they can, is clear it out behind the pack. Although, having said that, Sandilands won't do the rucking. Would have thought he should have in that situation. Pendlebury across to Thomas. Touch ball. Punch back inside, but no one there. The punching was done by Ibbotson. On the wing, Wood held without it. Wood still going. Well played. Feeds it back to Dawes. Clever hand pass. Time the release to perfection. Goal coming up. Beams. Still Beams. Man on in the square. Side bottom. Another goal from the goal square. Collingwood have made that their calling card at Subiaco tonight.
Yeah, they certainly have that ability to flow the ball forward. Has been terrific for them all night. The Fremantle in the middle part of the game on the offensive flow were pretty good. They started to run out of their own defence, but when the ball has come out of Fremantle's forward third, Collingwood just seem to continually be getting that number on. So the chasing for the Fremantle midfielder would be a concern tonight.
A 5 last week for Sidebottom, 13th goal kicker for Collingwood. So for the third consecutive week, they've had 13 goal kickers. And the fans are delighted. It's a big win again tonight to go with those other 4 massive wins they've had over the last month. And again, scoring big numbers. Well done, Ibbotson. And then O'Bree's little handball over the top to Ball. And then Ball with a careful kick to the pocket. And Wood has done pretty well. Quick off the mark there. And remember, Josh Fraser's playing in the reserves tomorrow in the VFL, along with Presty and Tarkin Lockyer, and also Lee Brown and Brad Dick, who's an important comebacker. But Wood's done enough tonight again to suggest he'll be hard to kick out.
It's his 3rd mark inside 50, which is a game high, which suggests he's got another string to his bow, which is going to be important for him to keep his spot in the side.
I like the side. Don't agree with it, of course.
Has he got it? I think he has. Gee, what a goal. His second.
Starting to get a bit ugly for the Dockers
big margin now, isn't it?
Yep. It's really important they do hang tough. If a bit of the body language isn't looking all they go, you can understand that they'd be tired. It's a big ground. They worked extremely hard just to keep their head above water, I guess, in the first half. Coming off the 6-day break back from Brisbane. A couple of players down. They're doing it tough, but they really do need to stand up and just exert some structure in the last 10 minutes of the game.
8 of the last 10 goals in the game kicked by Collingwood. None prettier than this one from
Collingwood. Prohibitive contact, Matthew.
There you go.
It's a free kick to Collingwood against Hayden Ballantyne.
That one by Wood. Meanwhile, back at the game.
This is the kind of stuff they can't afford to get sucked into, Fremantle.
Yeah.
You can, you know, they've worked so hard to gain the respect of the competition. You don't want to capitulate on the big stage of Friday night against the Pies.
Jolly inside the forward 50. Tarrant. That's the thing. They're undoing, what, 7 weeks of very good work, or at least 6. Started a bit slowly. Here's Palmer on the wing. Slips it back. Mundy towards half forward. Wonderful courage Sure, they were bearing down on him, and given the scoreboard, maybe he didn't have to go, but not in his nature.
Good call, Dennis. It was great stuff. He reads it so well, Shaw. So does Pendlebury. It's a side bottom, back to Pendlebury, and then balances up as he so effectively does Anthony Hill. Quickly to Davis. This is his pocket at this ground. Not tonight. He's going okay, Davis. I think Tom might have talked about him pre-match, but he hasn't quite exploded this year, has he? A lot of tackles on the forward 50 this season.
He is. His possession rate is down, but it's a real upside for Collingwood if he's not firing on all cylinders now.
I think he's spending more time probably forward third and a little less around the middle of the ground.
The emergence of Beams and side bottom and Wellingham, these sort of players, has restricted him to less time in the midfield this year.
When you mentioned Wellingham, and we mentioned a few of those guys in the VFL tomorrow, there's a lot of depth, isn't there?
Wellingham, one of our favourites on what we've seen this year. Johnson to Dawes, behind Maxwell, who initiated this passage, but he played it well, goes out wide, side bottom, little chip inside the forward 50, up comes Mundy and takes the mark. Hobbled, Mundy to Duffield. Duffield, little short chip to Barlow.
Oh, there, Shane! Oh.
Does continue Collingwood's unbelievably impressive form lately. I mean, they're terrific with ball in hand. We know that. They're kicking big scores. But their defensive pressure and their work rate is great as well. So they're in really good touch.
Barlow on 7 seconds delay, I think, down there. Not sure what he was doing, but he's not right. Morabito, meantime, goes in and wins a hard ball. Well done, young fella.
That's how you get your respect there.
Tied up by O'Brien and Ball. They've been around the block once or twice, and Morabito comes up with a bit of feistiness.
Great,
like that.
Great to see.
Sandilands to Pavlich. They've done pretty well, the two superstars, but Sandilands in particular. But Collingwood have been able to rein them in when it's been tight. Thomas's handball brilliant to Didak, to O'Brien, back turn to Swan, and heard the call to Didak, to Davis, to Swan. Gee, that was pretty. Back inside. Well done by McCaffrey to fall forward, and Didak. Yeah, he's done it. He's finished off a brilliant bit of play and kicked his third.
Oh, wasn't that a fantastic example of quickness of mind and body? There was Collingwood players, about 6 of them touched the footy, but they had it for a split second. Saw they were under pressure, gave it quick, knew where the teammates were.
When you call the names,
bang, bang.
When you call the names, they've got some very talented players. Swan to Didak, to Davis, back to Didak. You know, a good team is going to struggle to match up on all of those big names. Bit of party time for the Pies. Didak involved 3 times, gets it over the top. So dangerous in the forward 50. It just keeps you so honest.
Remember, they've kicked 150 points the last 2 weeks. They might. That's a big score 3 weeks in a row if they get that far.
Sandilands to Pavlich. Barlow, Sandilands. Barlow, side bottom. Just takes it away. Powerful performance by Collingwood tonight. There's O'Brien to half forward, Cloak. Haven't seen a lot of him since midway through the 3rd term, but when it was there to be won, Cloak with 5 goals, outstanding. Long ball, Dawes almost over the top. McPhee, Dawes butters up again. He's at the base of all of that. Broughton goes over the top, and the umpire will do it again. Mark Harvey obviously came in expecting a bit better than this tonight.
Sandilands on the left. Shaw just floated away from him, but he's read it pretty well, and Reid was there to help him. And goes wide to Davis and Hayden. Still with Davis, trying to keep his feet. Hayden has to release the footy. Davis cleverly done, and then De Boer. The winning margins for Collingwood over the last 4 weeks are not this order: 53, 64, 65, 66, and we're at 55 again tonight.
What's been really impressive was a real shootout up until half time, and then Collingwood have got the clamps out, and Fremantle ended with 78 points. Collingwood conceded 78 points, so they've really fine-tuned that part of their game as well.
High contact.
So against McCaffrey on Pavlich.
Chris Dawes, he's So look, really strong over his head. He hasn't quite held the ball. He hasn't marked the ball a whole lot, but he's actually had 19 touches for a guy who's playing big forward third. That's good numbers of ball in hand.
And you don't feel like it's a coincidence that Cloke's playing better with Dawes in the team.
Yeah, yeah.
They're a formidable duo at the moment. There's still a bit of ground to make up before they're Brown and Bradshaw or something like that, but they're looking good. Here's Ballantyne. He wants Sandilands. Good mark. It was a good kick. And now McPhee. It's had a bit of a messy night. Good kick to Fife. Fife, well, not sure. No, should have gone back and had a shot. Then he fetches it. O'Brien. They've got him.
Dived on the ball.
They've got him. Now coming out. Barlow. Main. Hill. Seen some flashes of brilliance from him, but free kick to Main, I think.
Kick in danger. You don't see that one very often these days.
So Main with a chance. What do you reckon, Lee? You've had a look at the Dockers tonight. And what do you think of them?
Well, I think they've failed as the game's gone on, but that was because Collingwood's pressure, I think, just overwhelmed them. They just couldn't play that kind of high-pressure football for the minutes that that Collingwood could. But I wouldn't be giving away Fremantle, certainly as a finals chance.
So Main always to the near side and misses. So
they were even top four for that matter. I mean, I think tonight. Yeah. I think it just proves tonight. Yeah, they've had a short week, long trip back from Brisbane. That hasn't helped them. But Collingwood, right at the moment, are in just fantastic touch. Their game against Geelong next Friday night. That's going to be a beauty.
So sure to bring it in. A couple of questions raised here. I mean, you just wonder about Fremantle. Did they pick their favourite side tonight? Every coach has got a bit of a dream team in his head, or did they pick their form side? I'm not sure. They went totally with form. And on the other side of the coin, you wonder, did the succession plan factor in this sort of success? There's Cloke. Gets a hand pass away to Wood. A lot to talk about coming out of this game. Not such a good kick. It just wanders down towards half forward. It was Pendlebury, and now a free kick is going to the Dockers. Will be taken by Duffield. Just over 4 minutes to go. Duffield at half back. Man on the far side of the ground. He'll move the ball in that direction. Hayden can take it and go. Like a relay runner just waiting for the ball to arrive. Now he looks down towards half forward. Ballantyne, who's gone right out of the game. Always industrious, but not much down there for him. And now we've got holding.
Yeah, it's 50 metres. It was a hold. So it's 50 metres from where it was originally. Yeah. No, I've played a free kick. No, so... No, it's a 50-metre penalty because that's the greater advantage to Freo. No, it's not.
I'm listening because I'm interested.
Freddie, I don't think it's inside the square. It's just outside. Yeah. You played the 50 from... Yeah. It's a free kick.
Valentine's 50 metres.
What's happened? I've played a free kick 30 metres ahead of play. But in that instance, because Freo already had the ball, a 50-metre penalty is a greater.
A lot of educating going on as Ballantyne kicks the goal.
He hadn't released the ball.
Yes, it is, because that's the greater advantage. They've got control of the ball. The free kick occurs 30 metres ahead of play, so the greater advantage is applying the 50-metre penalty from where the ball is.
Well, they sorted that out there.
That's fantastic. You don't need to say anything. It's interesting just to hear the players that are being briefed on what happened.
And some pretty good respect there too.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's good stuff. So Ballantyne gets his first.
Yes, it is, because that's the greater advantage. They've got control of the ball. The free kick occurs 30 metres ahead of play, so the greater advantage is applying the 50-metre penalty from where the ball is.
Good stuff there. Some communication and respect for the players and the umpire. But in the end, Ballantyne getting the free kick and the goal. So the Dockers edge their way up to 13.
I don't know how many players that know that rule.
No.
I'm not sure if I knew it, to be honest.
Tom, was it hard to come by?
I think Cloke has been the most influential player on the ground, and Swan gets plenty of it. Didas popped up with goals, and Aaron Sandlands has been Freo's clearly best player tonight.
Wonder if he could win a Brownlow Sandilands.
Well, in fact, I've been doing some research when I came up with my top four, and Dennis, you might appreciate this. Tonight was his 142nd game and his 142nd spoil, so we were questioning how many spoils he's had in his career.
That's right.
So maybe a few more spoils and he might get a few more Brownlow votes.
Oh, that's research.
That is.
Tom's starting to really worry me. That's a 50-metre penalty.
So he averages a spoil a game.
One spoil a game.
And one assumes when he first started he was more likely to spoil. Here's Beams, runs to 50. He's been good tonight too as he kicks down towards full forward and Hayden takes the mark. So it's all come unglued for the Dockers tonight, but I doubt they've been in a better position through most of their history. A lot of depth on their list. Juggled Mark Silvani. Defensive side of centre wing. A lot of young depth on their list. Not a good kick though. Maxwell gets in front, takes the mark. Morabito clipped him. Tuvey comes in. There's a mark and a clip. Well, you wonder why that's not 50. Well, I do. These are trained athletes. They don't normally miss by that much. Maxwell. Do they lead? They don't miss that often, do they?
It's how hard you practice.
Well, you're a devotee of practice. The ball just forward of the wing. We'll have a ball up.
I just think Collingwood, we even thought before the game, I mean, they've just had a dominant first start of the season. When you think of Nathan Brown, Dane Burns, Cameron Wood, Ben Root, Steele Sidebottom, Brett McCaffer, Chris Dawes, Alan Tuvey, that's a third of their side. They're only not, only just coming into their becoming experienced footballers.
Didak. Going to be a lot of blokes, you reckon, at the end of this season, Lee, that are going to have career best seasons at Collingwood. A few of them are well on the way. Morabito, geez, promising. Just 8 games. You reckon the Dockers would have taken 6 and 2 before a ball was bounced this year, wouldn't you, after 8 games?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And Collingwood have never had a better start under Mickey Malthouse. They're going to be 7 and 1 tonight.
They've got a cracking game that shapes next Friday night against the Cats.
And they've had some interesting duels in the last 3 years, haven't they, those two teams?
Yeah, there have been some blowouts, there have been some close ones, some epic battles. It's going to be an absolute belter.
And who knows, it might be a preview to something a bit later in the season. A long way off, I know.
Well, in many respects, I mean, Malthouse is the story as it sort of unfolds, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a remarkable story.
You could be a premiership coach and actually just retire. That happens.
I'm not sure if Mickey would do that.
Yeah, you can.
He might
provided you want to.
He might next year.
There's Ballantyne running down towards the 50. Lines up. That's a beautiful kick. Assessed it brilliantly and kicks a long goal. His second.
Lively Hayden Ballantyne. He's been up and about. He was an instigator early. I've been really impressed with the way he chases at ground level when he doesn't have the ball, and this is what he can do when he's got it. So he's one of the players that's come through the ranks at Fremantle. A mature recruit, like a Barlow, like a Broughton.
Great speed, hasn't he? That's what he's got, that real acceleration.
Yep.
How good would he have been in the schoolyard, battling over a marble or two, Ballantyne? He's a feisty little character. Lee, the last time Collingwood one game clear on top of the table, which they must be at the end of this round, was round 16, 1990. When you were coaching, and when you talk 1990 to Collingwood, all the fans smile. There's ball inside the 50, so it's been 20 years since there's been a game clear on top of the table.
Yeah.
Locked in.
Well, that's a good omen.
And there's out of 10. It's the biggest ever for a non-derby and a home and away game for the Dockers. They've had a couple of bigger crowds in those final period, but 41,600. Terrific turn-up.
Barlow, Johnson, De Boer, now Tarrant inside the last minute of a game that I think was expected to deliver top spot to the Dockers by the locals. Well, it's turned out anything but. Morabito back into the corridor. Main runs into a dead end. Harry was waiting gleefully for him. Back to Barlow. Collingwood still applied the pressure, although they break it this time as the ball comes out to Hill. And Hill, perhaps after the siren, could kick a goal. Although this is not the easiest kick for him because he works the ball left to right. Still, he's a very good kick. We're down to 3 seconds. 2. So the siren will sound. And Hill will kick. Said it before, the kid can kick. Stephen Hill, obviously too little, too late. Collingwood terrific.
Terrific win. Collingwood by 6 goals and great team effort. But their big gun tonight was wearing number 32.